I think we are live. So off we're going to go. So we're going to carry on with the game from earlier, which we started. So let's get this game going. So welcome to those of you who have never been on this channel before. This is all about fun gaming. Nice, chilled, relaxed, have a bit of fun. Nothing too stressful, nothing too difficult. And just build some colonies and, have a bit of fun on the way. Here's also the second ever video I've gone live, and the first one on Twitch. So interesting to see what happens. I know I'm supposed to build a community. I expect nothing, and whatever happens, happens. But it's interesting to see if there's a few messages and bits and pieces that come up. But I've got no idea quite what to expect. So instead, expect nothing, and I'm just going to sit and have some fun playing the game and chatting to whoever's out there. So for those of you who've never played Farthest Frontier before, it's a colony building sim. This game we've got it set up for kind of fun mode. So it's almost pacifist. Well, it's pacifist mode. Not going to have any attacks, not going to have anything else, but the normal stuff you get on Farthest Frontier: food shortages, bit of illness, running out of resources, and just going along and building and having some fun. I don't know if anyone's going to join me on YouTube or Twitch this evening, but welcome either way. Now obviously I've got the game decided to hang, because obviously what you want to do is to come online and watch a load bar not load. I suppose this is the classic part about going live, right? You never quite know what's going to happen. At least the bar's moved, so that's at least something. Here we go. So those of you who didn't join on the first video, I'm just going to pause it to give you an idea of what's going on. We're only up to tier 2. Nothing really that much has been built there. We're now about to build our second farm. A few issues in terms of, we did have some issues with food, but we've sorted that, and we also had some issues with money. And we just sorted that before we decided to switch off earlier. And we're going to see what happens now. So I think we're still obviously, the system's told us we've got a bit of an issue with food, but we'll aim to fix that as well. So without further ado, let's get into playing, because I'm sure you want to watch me play rather than listen to me waffle on about nonsense. I did say earlier on YouTube where it's very weird talking to no one. So I'm definitely quite envious of those people where, they've built that community and that you can have that to and fro with people. Because otherwise it's like this weird thing of kind of talking to no one. But there you go, maybe it's just the first sign of madness. Crops ready for assignment, so we can get our second farm up and running. We did have a bit of a chat with, or at least a bit of information on crops last time, but I'll go through it again quickly. So for those of you who haven't played before or whatever, crops are a really important part of Farthest Frontier, because it's your main source of food. So in here, what you're always looking to try and do is to balance weeds, rocks and fertility. So there's no point going along and building something that's, you can build fantastically well, but it's going to knock the fertility down, because within a few seasons it's never going to grow again. So what you've got to do is to try and find a good balance between making sure the fertility either stays where it is or moves up slightly. Obviously you definitely don't want this level of weeds, and removing the rock. So early on, what I always like to do is I like to just focus early stages on just getting this stuff done. So we're going to put this guy here. So this one, the idea is he'll deal with some weeds, he'll deal with some rocks and basically sort everything out. Buckwheat is obviously fantastic for going along and dealing with the weeds. If you have a look on here, you'll see the weed suppression is 10 out of 10, so that will definitely get rid of some weeds for us. So all of this is not going to give us any food, it's not going to give us any real benefit, but what it is going to do is to take the weeds down, take the rocks down, and so as we move forward in the game, we can then make this much more positive in terms of producing what we want to produce. But for the time being, we just kind of need to set the levels up where we need it. So that season's already gone. I think what we're going to do is to do something similar again, just for the first one out. So I think I'm going to go with buckwheat and 2 to get rid of rocks. And then what we were dealing with earlier is I was looking at trying to grow flax, because you need flax for clothes. And it was one of the things that our villagers were asking for, our colonists are asking for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put flax in here. Now, what you always want to do when you're balancing fertility is to find out what's actually going to cause problems with fertility. So buckwheat, you can see on here, fertility is a -1. If you have a look, so at the moment we're -1, -2, and this one is going to be another -2, so it's -4 overall. Now, that's difficult to fix, but early on, I'm kind of doing this just to make the thing better. So we can fix this as we move on later on, but for the time being, if I lose a little bit of fertility, it's not the end of the world. But what I am going to do is to put this in here, but I'm also going to include clover, because what clover does, you'll see, is a +3 on fertility. So even every 3 years we're only going to lose 1% fertility, but we're going to kill those weeds, we're going to get rid of those rocks, and then after we've got rid of the weeds and got rid of the rocks, we'll actually find a proper balance. So that will do me for the time being. We can get the game back going and the farmers can start. Oh, hang on, I'm supposed to say like and share and smash that like button and something every so often, so there we go. I suppose I've just covered that for a while. It's also quite difficult coming out of the game and then coming back to it again, because you almost forget where your head was at and what you were thinking about doing. And now obviously what we're trying to do is just to move these, upgrade these from shelters to homesteads, just because money is only producing 2 each time, which is never great. We need to push that up, and sometimes the fastest way to do it is just to upgrade these shelters to homesteads. So we've got these gardens going in between, which just increases the desirability, which will increase the growth. Okay, so let's see what else we're missing, because we can start building some other bits and pieces. What we were really hoping for, that's right, I remember last time, what we were hoping for was to see some more villagers turn up. But I don't quite know what it is. What's the problem? What are they unhappy about? They're nervous about food again. Well, we've got farms, we've got fields out. At the end of this season, we're going to be growing some more stuff. Tell you what, why don't we build up to the lake or something and put some fish in there? Or maybe we'll build to this and get some deer. That might be a bad shout. For those who have never played before, I'll talk you through a few tips and tricks and bits and pieces. So if you're quite OCD in terms of roads and how you want them to be, Shift will become your best friend. If you hold down Shift, it will make sure the roads will then stay parallel to each other, so everything's at right angles. I don't know whether everyone's as OCD as I am, but I do quite like them in a straight line. Bizarrely enough, this is one of the features of Farthest Frontier that they were so proud of, that they could make curved roads and everything else, which obviously you didn't really get on Age of Empires and Empire Earth and stuff. Everything was very right angles, but I'm sure they've spent thousands of hours developing it, and I go along and hold down Shift just to keep straight roads, because OCD predicts it. But never mind. Okay, so what we want is we want some food production, so let's go along and put a hunter cabin out there. Hunter cabin can go wherever I need it, but I'm going to pop it here just because it will be easy to go and hunt those deer. We do obviously have our smokehouse here, which again, for those who have never played before, you have a smokehouse just because it allows for food to last longer. Because the last thing you want to do is to produce food here and then just watch it perish, because obviously food goes off. Welcome to the 0 people that are watching right now. Must be the most depressing thing ever. By the way, if anyone ever re-watches this or watches this back, do feel free to drop a comment of when you started streaming, how long did it take to actually start to build a community? Don't get me wrong, I don't expect anything from the off, but yeah, I don't know whether or not if I come to video 137 and I'm broadcasting to myself again, that will just feel a little bit weird. But then I don't know whether or not I'll be able to game again without just talking to myself. I guess that can become quite addictive as well. Anyway, so I don't know why they're stressing about this. I can't believe you've actually got people very unhappy. They've got food, they've got this, they've got that. Let's also, now we know we're going to have some flax coming from this field. What we are going to do is we're going to create the whatever it is, weaver I think it is. I think it's referred to as the weaver. There we go, the weaver that can create clothes for us. This is I mean the weird thing is obviously I was talking a lot on the other channels earlier to talk about how everything works in this game. So in Farthest Frontier what you're looking for is a lot of desirability. So when you're building some buildings they'll be like this where honestly the villagers couldn't give a shit. There's also times where the map will go yellow and you've just got to be careful with that, because if it does go yellow, what it basically is telling you is that yeah, that building is going to affect desirability in some which way, shape or form, and if it's affecting desirability, especially negatively, you want to keep it away from those houses. But for the time being I think I'm going to pop it down here, just because it's not too far away from my villagers, so it'll be easy enough to build, and we can get that built and hopefully start to get something for our trading post. You know, I don't know if I'm going to shit the brick if actually this comes up and says, oh look, here comes a message in chat. And the worst part is because obviously in Twitch you can go along and tell it what game you're playing. And again, I don't even know if I've set it up right, but if I've gone along and told it and said, yeah, do you know I'm playing Farthest Frontier? I have this huge fear that people are going to come on and they're like Farthest Frontier speedrunners or Farthest Frontier like uber gamers that you know, just absolute animals at this game. And they're going to take one look and go, what the hell is this guy doing? He hasn't got a clue what he's up to. But there we go. The whole idea isn't for me to be the expert at this. The whole idea is to come on here and just have a bit of fun. Apparently on my own. There we go. Come on villagers, can you please hurry up? We need some more guys. What we're going to do is use the plus key and hopefully see a huge group of 10 random explorers looking for a new place to settle. Wouldn't that be nice? Because right now I can't actually build too much more because I haven't got workers to put them. And the crazy part is I've got enough food. Everything's going great, we've got everything we need, but we just don't have the people. What's he got this red? What's he upset about? Bjorn. What's he upset about? Nothing apparently. But no ammo. Ah, okay. So we might need a Fletcher. So let's put the Fletcher down. I did talk about it earlier and said it's probably something that you don't need until a little bit later on. But I do have at the moment 3 hunter cabins, so perhaps we might need it now. So I'm going to pop that down over here. And then he can stop bitching about whatever it is he needs. Collecting 3 every month rather than 2, so it's all starting to head in the right direction, but as I keep saying, it's early game at the moment. All you're looking to do is just get yourself started and just keep everything relatively well balanced, even if you're struggling to find residents. I think in all the times I've played this, the one thing I've never really struggled with too much you know, I never, you know, you always go through and struggle a little bit with residents just because, you know, it's early game or you don't have enough food or whatever. But when you've got everything you need, it's very rare that, I think it's the only time I've ever had that you don't get some form of, you know, a stack of people coming in. But there we go. It just shows the randomness of this game. You can't just think, yeah, if you line everything up, everything will go good for you, because it doesn't necessarily happen. So let's have a look at this new merchant and see what he's got to sell and buy and things. So he wants pottery, but we're not making this, we're not making this. Want to sell me anything cheap? He wants to sell me shoes, but we're already on it. I don't think there's anything that exciting with him. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind buying the cow, but even if I take all the gold that I've got at the moment on top of what I've got at the market, it's still only 500. Unless I just haul myself out for something. Nope. We've got nothing. Accept it and move on. Don't stress about it. And if anyone's ever watching this back on YouTube, because you know it's all live, it's all fun, and you know there's no edits going on here. I'm not doing voiceovers later on. Do feel free to drop a like on it, and if you want to see just chilled, relaxed gaming, why not drop me a follow? I'm sure there's a subscribe button somewhere, but I'm all new to this, so I wouldn't even be able to tell you, like, oh yeah, look bottom right, there'll be a subscribe button. But I'll get there. A lot of the time I'm always one to just give things a go and kind of wing it a little bit as we go along. It's better to try and fail than to fail to try. That's my motto. Okay, so let's go and start having a look and see what we can start to do to really get ourselves into tier 2 properly, because we're building just odd sketchy buildings here and there. Stable I don't care about. Might be one of the only buildings I'm never really that fussed about, and I'm never that fussed about it because when we're playing it in pacifist mode, I don't need knights and fighting and the best, you know, cavalry and whatever, so I don't worry too much about it. If we have a look, apiary would be good, that's always useful. Pottery we need to get onto, but again there's no point going to pottery until you've got clay. Weavers we've now got, so we can actually start to produce clothes. The candle shop, that'll be okay, but we need the apiary first. Soap shop we're onto, we've already got one of those up and running. Charcoal again, don't need that yet, and hopefully won't need that at all. An armory, fantastic building, but only when you're deciding to fight people. When you're in kind of build mode and you're playing this role play just to go through and build your city and build your colony, don't need it. Let's have a look what else we've got. We kind of need to get the at some point the flour mill and everything going, but we can always do that a little bit down the line. The barn, we haven't got the money to buy the cows yet, and goats and chickens I'm not too fussed about yet. I suppose we could do the arborist to yeah, why don't we do the arborist? That might not be a bad shout. We've got someone else here as well. Let's just see what... She wants to buy everything cheap and sell everything expensive. Nice if you can get it, but not for me at this point in the game. It's nothing I'm that desperate for. So let's just slow things down. Here we go. Here come the colonists. Yes. Right, now we've actually got a bit more of a team. We can start to seriously start the building. So I think having an arborist over here would be amazing, just because the land's really good level of fertility, and it keeps everything out of the way. Yeah, it's nice that these new people now demand this, and literally they've just turned up about 3 seconds ago, but you never know. Okay, so let's just pop this where that yellow circle's big enough that we can start to build all those trees for them. And I forgot we need clay for this, so What's stopping us building clay? Or at least collecting clay. Town centre tier 2, we need a wagon shop. Okay, so let's pop a wagon shop down somewhere. And pop this in this area over here where we're just building. Kind of commercial buildings almost. But I think that would be good. And once that's down, we can start to actually collect all this clay. Kind of almost build that next tier of building. On the wagon shop. Let's kind of set that as a priority, especially now we've got the extra colonists with us. I can go along and get on and get that done. So hopefully we can get that done. The Fletcher building should be up now. Probably don't need too many bows, but they haven't produced any yet. Let's just have a quick look at our storage and see what's sitting on low bows and what. None here. Doesn't necessarily mean there's none at all, but there's none in the obvious place to look for them. Have a quick look and see how we're getting on. So food is now at least a little bit better than it was. You see these numbers, and it's easy to kind of panic and end up quick reacting to them, and creating overkill. Because if you keep getting told, yeah, you've no food, no food, no food, there's the temptation to just go along and decide, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down 3 farms, 4 farms, 5 farms, or start slaying cattle left, right, and centre, or whatever. But the reality is, what you've got to do is you've got to do it a little bit by little bit and not panic. So you do a little bit, because ultimately it can be 12 months until the changes that you're making are truly going to start showing the results. And what you don't want to be doing is constantly then having too much food and having to scale back or having to keep tweaking things. So ultimately the idea is, if you see something not quite right, fix it, but be patient and to see those results come through. Let's see how the fields are doing. So nothing bad in the fields, but they're just spending the time clearing everything out. Bring these numbers down, get these to the point where it's a bit more manageable. And this field went in, or this farm went in a lot earlier. I'm going to keep getting some kind of infestation and what have you. This affects, and I was talking to apparently, I was talking to myself the last time we had this conversation. But yeah, the idea is, when you're looking at which crops to put down, the idea is to always kind of keep it fluid and changing, because if something like this comes up, especially late in the game where you might have 10 farms or 15 farms, the last thing you want to be doing is micromanaging them to keep trying to change the crops to deal with the diseases you've got. So as long as you keep tweaking and changing what you've got, we can see that we're going to go through probably the first 6-9 months of the year with nothing that the disease can hold on to, because it needs buckwheat, beans and peas, and that's certainly not buckwheat, and that's not buckwheat, so hopefully it'll be gone before the peas get planted. But if it does happen when the peas get planted, maybe I'll tweak this and just turn it into the guys going along and dealing with it. Oh look, we've even got a fire as well. Nice thing about this game is you don't have to micromanage too much. As long as you've got spare residents and you've got water, they'll take care of stuff like that for you. This would be nice to have some kind of audience participation now, to try and find out How many of you watched the England game earlier? What you thought of the dismal display? And which is more dull, watching me go on at a snail's pace in this game, or England? I think it doesn't matter how bad it gets in this game. I think England were worse, but at least a step up from the Slovakia game, that's the main thing. Onwards and upwards, as they say. Okay, nice thing is, again, this is now going to give us the guide of what we want to do next, because 46 people, we've only got the ability to hold 52, so let's chuck down a couple more houses. And let's start to put a bit more structure into what we've got. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a road around this, and you see, for those of you first time to Farthest Frontier, this is what they're talking about, where they can develop twisty roads. But for me, hold down shift key and keep them nice and straight. So I'm going to go with a road up here, and I think I'm going to put a road across the back. Not quite on the back, because I'm not going to use that space for gardens. We've got a bit of gold, so what I probably will do is to look at putting down a school or putting down some gardens, and let's get these properties upgraded. Let's see, is it that bad? Is it that expensive to put down a school? Trading person got school. It's going to cost 150 gold, but there's no ongoing, so do you know what? I might just pop down a school here. Yeah, I don't hate that idea. Again, it's going to need clay. Everything's needing clay at the moment, but we can't get clay until we get the wagon shop. But it is prioritised, and we are on our way. Again, the sawmill might need a few more people, so what I'll do is I'll chuck another one in there. Now we've got a few extra people, and obviously we now also need to build a few more houses. What I think I might do is to build some houses around here, just because it's got the market, it's got the shrine, it's now going to have the school. So all of those are going to get an increased desirability. Fantastic news, and also can hopefully keep it nice and neat for us. So a little bit of gap there, just in case we want to put gardens around it. And that could be parallel with the school. And again, here. And here. So that should give us 4, 8. So we've got 8 by 4, so we've got another 32 houses or 32 population going there. And the other thing is, once this school gets built, I think the desirability will go up, and these shelters will look to upgrade to homesteads, which is nice. Fantastic. I think I'm still streaming to a grand total of 0 people. I think the hope is right now that Mr. Beast is going to come along, take pity and say, do you know what, let's go along and get to this guy who's got no subs, no viewers, but we'll just bung him 10,000 or something. Crazy part is I'm so new to streaming, I wouldn't even know how to take 10,000 if he offered it. Should probably be like less than 1, but I think because I just took this on as a bit of fun, a bit of a laugh, I didn't really even consider it. Never mind, we'll cross that bridge in the rare occasion it ever comes up to it, or maybe I'll make like $3 a year or something. That'd be fun. Kind of almost want to just like flick your screen a bit and something and say, hang on, maybe the dial's reading wrong, maybe that 0 that I'm seeing in viewers is actually like 6,000 or something. It's just knocked off the 600 at the beginning. But nope, I think I'm still streaming to a grand total of no one. But everybody needs to start somewhere, right? Yeah, it'd be amazing to hear from people and hear like, you know, this is my favourite game or whatever. So I think a lot of the time, if I'm going along and having these bits and pieces on there, I think for the time being, if ever you're watching this back, just drop a comment and, you know, say hi or where in the world you're seeing this. Just because, you know, seeing a comment, seeing something, seeing some feedback, at least makes me want to make more videos. Have we got our wagon shop down yet? Yes, we have a wagon shop. Perfect. So now at least we can start to put down, I think, clay mines, and we can get everything else moving along. There we go. There's our clay pit, so let's drop that here. Let's make sure, just for crazy OCD purposes, we make it in line with our road. Hopefully my colonists can get this all built, get us our clay mine. I think that opens up more storage, or that a little bit later on. Granary in the vault. So the vault's fantastic if you're playing one where you've got hostiles and people coming to attack you, because you can store your money in the vault and at least it's useful. I mean, what you will find is later on in this game, even if you're playing pacifist mode, you will need a vault. Just because in the normal storehouses they count gold as like a resource, so they end up filling up with gold. Again, nice problem to have in life, but not such a great problem to have in Farthest Frontier. So I think the difference is that the vault will hold like 20,000 gold, whereas the storehouses will hold like 1,500 or something. So. Come one, come all. New villager born. School will at least start to build. We can only carry on building once we've got clay, but we're on it. All of these things are now starting to happen, which is all good fun. Still got a nice infected field, which is lovely, but that'll sort itself out hopefully next season. This field we've got no issues with it at all. The weeds are coming down nicely, you can see the double down. The rocks are going up apparently, but certainly better than it was when we looked at it at the beginning. And we're going to have our first season of flax. So that's also nice. And it will allow the... I think he's here, isn't he? Oh, that's the Fletcher. I think the weaver's over the other side, isn't he? The weaver's going to be bitching because he has no flax. But that's on its way. And this thing's bitching because it has no wood planks. I think in terms of my people, they're all kind of busy right now. What I will not to do is just to harvest some of these trees, just to make sure we don't run out of wood. Now we just need to make it through the winter. And get this stupid clay mine done. Speed it up a little bit and get some of this stuff done. Spread the building of the houses, but clay mine. Come on, little colonists, you can get this done. can't even have any audience interaction. What are you all up to this evening? How's your evenings going? What's your favourite part of Farthest Frontier? If you pick this up later on YouTube or whatever, put some answers in the comments or something. Honestly, this is literally, it feels like the first sign of madness. No one and talk to no one. I have to keep reminding myself is A, it takes time, but secondly, I'd probably be chilling and playing this game anyway, so the only difference is that I'm talking to no one at the same time. Pop that there. We're going to have a little road that runs down by the side of it. And then we'll put a fishing hut down there. Again, more food. I think we're alright for food for the time being. Let's just go and see what this guy wants. Has he got anything, or has he got anything that we really want to sell him? I could sell him the tools, but you really need these later on in the game anyway. Stone is always handy, so I'm not that fussed about doing it. The medicinal roots, yeah, I could probably flog those. But we're making money at the moment, so I'm not that fussed about doing like silly small trades. I'd rather just wait until I can build up and get a stock of stuff, and then actually almost kind of start to create the trade routes to do it properly rather than this little teeny tiny little bits. Teeny tiny little bits are great early on when you're doing it just to build up a bit of extra gold, but I think we're alright for the moment. In the school, the gold's all been paid for it. At the moment the issue is more about just having the time and the resource to do everything. The crazy part is we've got all this spare resource for people to come. Food is building up and up and up, so that's not a problem. Obviously got new plans to put some kind of fishing hut or something down there maybe. Let's pop a fishing hut down the end here. Then I feel we're kind of doing our bit for everything. We'll have the arborist, which will produce all the fruit. Now we'll have a fishing hut as well. Pop that there. And let's put a smokehouse over here as well. Because it can also pick up the stuff from here, so. But I think, I can't remember, is the smokehouse an area that they really hate? Yeah, so when I was talking earlier about, you know, you get some buildings where the map goes yellow. It goes yellow because ultimately it's not liked. So I could pop it over here, but the problem is that it's a long way for them to go. So what I'm going to do is just pop it on the edge here. It's far enough away from my villages, but it's close enough to be useful for the fishing shack and obviously the hunting cabin as well. So let's see what else we've got. School's still waiting, but now at least we can start to gather some clay. So that's going to be useful. There's plenty in that mine, so I don't have to start mining that one yet. At least the 30 that's needed there and the 50 that's needed there now has a place to actually collect it from. So that's great news. I think I'm going to need a well up here somewhere as well. Let's pop one up here anyway. Not a bad idea to have them spread around. You can always tell if you've got another well close because it will go blue. So as you see here, you can see there's a conflict between the two. But here, let's pop it on the corner, shall we? There we go. So the clay's been picked up. There we go. It's going to where it needs to be, which is amazing. Let's keep part of our focus on what do we actually need to get the upgrade. So we need a trading post, which we've done. We need a school, which is on the way. We need some homesteads. I think once the school goes, let's see what the impact that has on these. And 150 villagers. I need 2,000 gold, which is certainly going to take a bit of graft. The clay I don't think is going to be a problem, and the wood planks won't be a problem. Again, it's about getting more villagers here. But that is one thing I can't control other than just making sure it's a place they want to come. The only thing they're really stressing about at the moment is food supplies. But we're working on it. Again, sometimes what you have to do is keep reminding yourself this isn't about, you know, trying to race to get it done as quick as possible. You know, I'm not here to try and speed run this game. We're just here to have some fun and have a nice relaxed game. And what we need is we need that to vanish before that crop appears. I don't want to stop that crop going through simply because I could do with the food right now. But the field's looking good, very low weeds, virtually no rocks, so that's amazing. But what I am worried about is that 2% infestation. I just hope it goes before the crop switch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep an eye on it. I won't worry about that fire, the villagers will take care of that. But let's see. Common infestation, vanish. I will have to go out and go back in to get it to refresh, but crop loss 1% now. Common infestation, you've got to leave. That doesn't go, I'm going to need to change the plan. Nope, I think it's going to carry on because it will affect the peas. No, but I want to remove them, I just want to see, yeah, there's peas. And now you can see, there it is. Infestation 20% and it affects buckwheat as well. So I'm going to leave the peas there, we'll accept a bit of a crop loss, but I can't run buckwheat again just because it's going to have a bit of a tiz about it. So let's create something else, shall we, that we know is going to be safe. Cabbage that knocks the fertility too much. Maybe I'll just go along and have a set where it's going to be nothing but increase the fertility on the field. Let's do that and put the guy there. There you go. So that's going to clear it. That will fix it entirely and get rid of this stupid infestation. And it will help the fertility of the field. I just didn't really want to do that. Just because I wanted to try and get rid of those weeds, but we'll deal with those in a minute. Oh, and fantastic. Welcome those no people who are watching right now. I hope you're having a whale of a time. In order to build a community, you've got to have the first building block at some point. It's either that or someone's going to turn up and just take pity on me and go, do you know what, no one else is watching this guy, I'll watch him. And I suppose the nice part is if I get one live viewer, then I can almost give 100% of my attention to them. Oh, friend! First viewer friend! Bless. Right. This is good. This is happening. This is happening. Nothing to stress about right now. Yeah, add more. Yeah, I'd love to add more labourers. Look, space for 36 more. I just need them to turn up. If they don't turn up, I can't do anything, can I? This game, I tell you what, can get quite frustrating because you end up in this never-ending circle where you know you need more labourers to work on the farms, but you don't get the labourers because they haven't got enough food. You think, just send in the guys, it'll be fine. But until they arrive, you just have to muddle through. Part of the fun and charm of this game. If it was always just incredibly easy and everything turned up exactly as you wanted it, you'd have this done in an hour or less. But instead you can just enjoy the graft. Yep, look, we're at 48. At this current rate we're going to be here until Christmas, until we get to 49 or 50 or something. But we will get there. Don't you worry about it. School is coming, and once the school arrives, everything will change a bit. Sometimes it's just one building that will go along and trigger the domino effect to tickle the other ones as well. Let's just go along and make sure we have that prioritised as well. Put more builders on it. Because I think that will be important to get more homesteads down. Hopefully we can get more people. How badly is that infected now? 20%. So it will definitely go at this point. I mean, obviously now I've said definitely, it's 50% definitely have that. So here's the crazy part. We need this, we need this, we need this. We need all these bits and pieces. But we've got it, we've got it, we've got it. We've set all the instructions. We just need villagers. And that's one thing that I can't actually control. I mean, I'm sure there's some mods or something where I could go along and do it, to click buttons to get villagers, but Farthest Frontier just isn't that kind of game, I don't think. Not for me. It's more fun to just go through and enjoy the little bit of the grind and enjoy the point where you go along and just have to wait for things to happen. We do have a huge amount of gold, but again, I'm kind of quite tempted to start building all the gardens around here to move all these up to homesteads. But if I do it, there's not really a lot of point in having the school, because the school was the thing that was supposed to trigger everything to go. So let's see what happens when the school goes down. Maybe at some point we'll extend these farms as well, but I'm just reluctant to do it until we've got enough people to man the farms. Oh, and welcome the no people on live. Nice to see none of you. I tell you what, it's quite funny because I keep going on about it. It sounds like I'm really bitter about it, but honestly I don't care. It's just one of those things where you almost want to go along and think, well, I've got no idea how good or bad I'm ever going to be at this. And so sometimes what you need to do is just to say, well, do you know what? You'll give it a try. So, you know, this is what I'm doing. Go and give it a try. However, the next part that I want to try is how well, you know, we can interact with other people. Problem is that in order to see how well you interact with other people, is you need other people. Let's see what this traveller has to offer. So what does he want to buy? He doesn't want to overpay for anything. If he doesn't want to overpay for anything, I'm not that fussed about doing it. Oh, I forgot about this. Have I not got the Weaver? Because if I haven't got the Weaver, I definitely want to get it. Or not the Weaver, whatever it is, the basket shop. Just because earlier on we've got all this place that's making willow, and I think we're now starting to get a decent reserve of it. No, we don't have any basket shops, so let's put a basket shop down. Might even be tempted enough to put 2 down, but yeah, I'll tell you what, why not? Why not indeed? It's not like we've got a huge shortage of workers or anything. We can use the trading post to go and trade it into something else. but probably not workers. Come on, school, finish off. Let's see what impact this is going to have. Food I don't see as an issue for a little while now. I think we've got that one sussed. Food seems to be going up. Let's just check the graph and have a look. Still close. But again, I think it depends whether or not the farm's producing food that year. I don't think the farm's producing any food, but also the villagers aren't consuming more than I'm producing, so that's great news. Infestation's on its way out. Yeah. The building needs workers, no shit, Charlotte. So he wants to overpay for baskets, obviously, because I've only just built a basket shop. And the only thing I've got a decent stack of is soap. And he wants to underpay for it. So it doesn't look like any trading is going to happen for a little while. Here's the crazy part. You're sitting in there and you think, well, if I'm talking to no one. So I had this analogy last time on the last stream I did, and it was very much a case of like, you know, everyone's heard the phrase that says, if a tree falls in the woods, does it actually make any sound because there's no one there to hear it? And it's a case of going, does a streamer continue to talk when there's no one there to hear it? It's almost like I have my microphone on mute, but no one would ever know. I'm going to sound like I'm just bitching about not having people. Honestly, I think in the next half an hour is the last time I'm bringing it up. So I'm just going to carry on building away, chatting off to myself, and if someone happens to see a message and drop something in chat, that would be amazing. Either that, I'll probably cack it anyway, but let's see. Okay, so nicely we're getting the arborist. So I think the clay is now going to focus on the mine over to the arborist. The arborist is the posh way of saying fruit farm. So what the arborist can do is once you've done it, you can plant a load of trees. They take a little while, but it then will produce a load of fruit for your village, which is always a useful source of food. Because that one I don't think I've ever seen impacted by the same, you know, stuff that happens to crops. So all these weird rots and stuff, I've never seen it happen to the fruit trees. Okay, so here, so when I was talking earlier, let's just pause this for a second. When I was talking earlier, and it was very much a case of, you know, at the very beginning of the game, what you're always looking to do, when you're putting down the farms, you want to try and tidy them up, so you get rid of the rocks, you try and get rid of the weeds, you keep the fertility up high, and now seeing that the rocks are down to 1%, I can probably start to tweak what we're doing with these. So what you've got is the resources that, you know, a lot of the time you almost become to rely on, is the buckwheat and the, I don't know, the dudes, the people, the workers, whatever. They're the ones that will clear out weeds and rocks and bits and pieces, and buckwheat will also go along and help with the weeds. But now we've got the weeds down and we've got the rocks down, we probably don't need this one here. So now what you're starting to do is to math this out a little bit. So the math thing you need to do is just to work out how to keep the fertility going up every single year, or at least staying the same. You never really want it going down if you can avoid it. So as I said earlier on, I think we've got the buckwheat that causes the fertility down 1%. So we've got -1, -2, and finally the clover is a +3. So you've got -1, -2, +3, so you've got a net +1, but your flax is -2. So -1, -1, -2, +3 is -1. So I did say obviously you want to keep it the same or keep it going upwards. Obviously in this case I desperately needed flax, so we just did it. However, now I can start to turn things around a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out one of the buckwheats and both of the workers, because I don't think I need those. So let's take those out. I'm going to leave this one in anyway, just because it will be good for weed suppression. But now I've got a -1, -2, I think that was, and a +3. So now I know I'm at net nothing. What I'm now going to do is to add some kind of vegetables. So you can see this one's a -2, this is a -2, this I think is a there you go, -4, -5, a -2, and I think this is a -6, or one of them is here. This one here is -6. But the beans and peas are both +1s. So just whilst we're going along and finishing tinkering with this one, what I'm going to do for this year is we're going to add beans and peas. There's not enough space, otherwise I'd have used it here, to put something else on there. And let's just have a quick look, because otherwise you're all going to be screaming at your thing saying, no, 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 don't put it that way around. Let's just see which one is which. So this one works better with heat, this one works better with, hang on, which way around are we? Yeah, okay, so it's the peas that work better with cold, and it's the beans that work better with hot. So I think what I'm going to try and do is to push those down towards the cold as much as I can, and to try and keep these away from the cold and put them into the hot. We'll see how that goes, and if it works, fantastic. If it's not, we'll tweak it a little bit. But now again, we've now got -2 and -1, so you've got a -3, you've got a +3 here, and then you've got a +1, +1. So now the fertility is going to be going up. The weeds should be coming down, but we'll have a look in due course. We're at 11%, and we'll see where that goes. And they're also going to clear out the rocks, so that's really good news. If we have to, we can always go along and pull one of these guys away from this, and we'll go along and deal with the weeds with that. So that's at least starting to look a little bit more like the field that we're going to want later on. And this one again we'll have a look at once the weeds can come down a little bit, but we had to stop that just because of the stupid disease or whatever we had there. So let's just go and tidy that up again. And in fact, you know, I'm going to leave it for a little bit. The rocks are okay, the weeds will come down, I think, in theory, but if they start going up, I'll offset the weed reduction with the fertility, so that's okay, no big deal. And by the way, if anyone ever thinks, my God, he explained that really badly, I definitely suggest you try and do it live without a script. Then you'll realise quite how tough it is just to randomly talk about nothing. Or try and explain something that's sometimes it's far easier to explain by actually playing the game. There we go, look, at least I've learned streamer rule number 1, which I forgot last time. Make sure you bring a drink with you. No coughing and spluttering through this stream. Okay, so fishermen are working well. Let's just retire the work area, I think, because I think we're going to do better than 160. There's 170, 210, 220, 240, 250. There we go, that'll do. So that's my area for that, and the other thing I do want to do is I do want to go and forage those herbs. So, I don't know if I did it. I'll actually put the foraging hut down to do it. I don't think I did. Well, let's pop it down now. Where are we? Food production, forager shack. There we go. Now we're going to take the herbs. Look, we've got space for 88, but we've got only 61. So let's just see the impact that this has had. So how close are we to upgrading? So that one's gone to the homestead. This one hasn't yet. These ones haven't. So let's put down some gardens across here and see if this gives it a little bit of a nudge in the right direction. So, as I was saying before, decorations normally in so many other games just don't really have the same impact. You know, it's normally, you know, especially if people are streaming and role playing, you know, to try and make the prettiest city or whatever. But in this game, they make such a huge difference because you can use it for quick upgrades on your desirability, and you know in this game that if you can make the area desirable, it's a really quick and easy way to get everything upgraded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop down a couple of gardens here, and with a little bit of luck we will have some homesteads here. Let's see how these all are going. So this one obviously straight in for a homestead, straight in. This one's still a shelter, so we might have to put some kind of garden around here. You know, maybe another market somewhere, but I don't think we need it yet. Okay, so here we go, the arborist is ready. So what we are going to do now, God, it's been a while since I played this game. So let's go along and set the size that we want for the farms, and then we're going to go and plant some trees. So let's see what we've got. So maybe we'll put some apple trees here, some apple trees here, go back to the arborist, maybe some peach trees over here. Well, that's going to plant, so I'm going to just change it to a 2x2. At least I can be a little bit more precise with what we're putting down. And here, and maybe here. And then I'm going to switch to a 1x1. And then try to start putting some pears down. So there we go, there we go. I don't quite know what happens if you go outside the lines. I'm sure they still harvest them, but I probably don't want to tempt fate too much by going too far outside the lines. So that will do for now, and now we should have a decent supply of fruit, or at least in a couple of seasons. So now with the introduction of the farm, at least the one that's now going to focus at least 1 year of 3 of food. This one's also going to produce food. What I do want to do is just, you know, start looking at getting wheat and hay, just because they're really good for feeding animals, but they're also fantastic for bread, and bread's a brilliant resource to have in this game. So I do want to move over to bread shortly, but I just want to tidy up the fields a little bit first, just to get them to a decent high level of fertility, and get rid of the rocks, which we're pretty much there with this one. I think what we'll do is we'll let this season go through, and then we'll start to play around and balance our numbers to make sure that we've got sustainable, but we'll have crops that we can turn into bread, which is amazing. What I might just do, again, a lot of the time you don't realise as the population creeps up, so what I don't want to do is to go too easy without thinking about getting some more residents down, but also I don't want to spread too far away without popping down another market. So tell you what, why don't we do that now? Let's get another market down, so we'll put a market here on this corner. How much is going to clash with that one? Probably a bit too much. Maybe we'll go over here, something like that. What I'm going to do is let's put down some houses, but now at least I've got a rough idea. So somewhere at the end of that road, we want to put down another market. I've got to leave space for wells and bits and pieces, but I can always pop these down the other side. Not overly fussed about travelling merchants because there's nothing I really need right now. If 2 of them were there and we could do that buying, selling, wheelie dealing that we did earlier, maybe I might do it, but again, nothing that special right now. So let's look at putting some houses down. Or shelters as they are at the moment. Which way have we got? Again, it's this weird OCD of trying to keep them in line. So that's what we'll do. Create the space. And create the space. But double stack them that way. There you go. Probably creates a good space to put the market. So what I'm going to do is put down a couple more houses, because it will then kind of dictate where I want the market to go. So that road's worked out nicely. That one, this one, and now let's have a look at putting down the market. We get to lose the gap. If I pop it here, we can put gardens either side if we want to. Or maybe, yeah, if I move it up here, I can put a well at the bottom of that, so that'll be decent. Anyone watching this back later on YouTube, if you happen to catch the amazing piece at 1 minute or 1 hour and 6 minutes 51 seconds, smash that like button and leave a comment. Honestly, all comments appreciated. I don't really care what you've got to say. You know, this is designed for people who like to play games like me. You know, we're not going for speed runs. We're not going for, you know, how do we take it on the hardest possible level. It's not what I'm about. I'm about having some fun, enjoying yourself, playing games what they're designed to be for, to have some fun, and that's the whole point of this channel. I was actually surprised as well on the Twitch community that Kenshi's so kind of unknown. I did read that they've now done 2.3 million sales, with the most amount going through this year, and for a game that's like 10 years old is insane. So it's seriously picking up traction, but I think Twitch hasn't quite, I don't know, Twitch hasn't caught on to it yet, or maybe I just think it's better than it is. But yeah, in 20 odd years I don't think, well hang on, when I say 20 odd years, it's been longer than that I've been playing games, but in all the years I've been playing games, I don't think I've ever quite found a game that is as unique as Kenshi. And I don't use unique in a way of going, yeah, it's a nice polite way to say it's shit. It's certainly unique. If you've never played it before, but you're curious, tell you what, subscribe to this channel, because at some point I'll go on some major Kenshi roleplay quest of, I don't know, doing something. And you'll get to see the insanity that can come from Kenshi. And for those of you who have seen Kenshi before or whatever and want to find a good streamer that does Kenshi videos, I don't know if he's still doing any, but I know Cool Kid Croc did quite a few of them, so shout out to him. I know I watch a lot of his videos, and yeah, he had a fantastic playthrough where he turned, you know, one guy to take on the world, certainly the world of Kenshi. Can't remember his name, it'll come to me in a minute, but yeah, really good, and yeah, hugely entertaining, so shout out to him. Okay, so let's get back a little bit on track of what we're supposed to be doing, because otherwise I'm going to lose track and start thinking about Kenshi and decide I want to switch this game off, and that's not what we're about. I want to at least get to tier 3 tonight. Okay, so we need a few more homesteads. The people are going to go up. We've obviously now got the trading post in the school. Our resources are going up, albeit slowly, but as the population increases, the homesteads will increase, and so will our money. So we're heading in the right direction on everything, and we're not running out of food yet. which is always good. Okay, so this field is nearly at the point where we can focus on what we want, and I think this one pretty much is there. So rather than putting it off, let's just get it done. So let's take these out for the time being. Don't need that, we don't need that, we don't need that. Let's just clear them out and then decide what we want to do with the field. Okay, so wheat is obviously massively important. It's one of the best ones to go with bread. Rye is obviously second best in terms of what you've got. This one definitely needs a fertile field, but we've got that. But it's going to push fertility down 6%, which is huge. So what I think we're going to do is let's pop that one in, and I think everything is about trying to keep the soil as fertile as possible. This one's going to take care of the last of those weeds, so I'm not going to change it for where it is right now, but moving forwards I'm not too fussed about it. So here we go, so we've got a -6, so the only thing really to match up with that is with the clover. So that's a -6 and a +3, so there's a +3 there. So a -3 overall. So if we pop in to the next year, let's find something that's at least a +1, so if we put beans in there. So this overall as it stands right now, so you've got a +3, a +3, which will negate this, and the beans or the peas, whichever one it is, this is a +1. So at the moment, these 2 years will give me a +1 fertility. This is now a +2. This is a -1, but it will deal with the weeds. Do you know what? I don't mind that cycle so much, especially when we don't need loads of wheat right now. Wheat right now. That was nearly a great slip up. But yeah, we don't need anything else right now. It'll be good to start collecting this, and it's not a bad layout for that field. Now obviously we've just seen that it's going to turn everything into drought. Why not, hey? I think I saw the symbol for drought, but it's not there. Okay, so that's that field done. The second one, what are we going to do with this one? So I think we still want to up the fertility on this one. The weeds we're not too fussed about anymore. So here we've got +1 and +1 is +2. This one, I'm sorry if you're all screaming at your screen going, hang on a sec, we just calculated this last time. But there we go. That's the perils of flicking between them. So this all negates, then you've got this one which is a +3, so we've got a +3, a +2, so okay. So if I leave these here, or leave that one in as well. I think those are great because it's going to deal with fertility and what have you. I don't need any more of these, so these guys can definitely come out. So this one is a +3 field right now, or a +2 field. What about if we drop in rye, which will make it a -3 field. But if I can take that out, ready for next year. Maybe pop that one in there. Okay, I think at the moment we're on a net loss in terms of fertility. However, I'm hoping that our nice compost heap over here is going to start. There we go. So it is producing compost very slowly, but then I've only got 2 fields and one of them will take care of itself, so hopefully that will be enough to keep it up. But if it's not, we'll switch the rotation and increase it. But now I think we do have to start thinking about cattle, which is probably a good natural next step, and I think cattle can go in here unless I keep it for farming. And there's decent fertility in here, but I think to expand out to here for farms is fine. Maybe cattle in here somewhere. And the windmill and various other bits and pieces to make bread. So I'll tell you what, let's start that process right now. just because I think it's something that we know is going to have to be done at some point. I can't remember what the ratio is, so what I'm going to do for the time being is I'm going to put down a windmill, and I'll put down, oh, hang on a second, I forget we always needed one heavy tool. As I would probably say to someone else, you're a heavy tool, but that would just be childish, right? Okay, so we've got a windmill over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a bakery somewhere here. Actually is one of the desirable buildings, you know, that nice bread smell that comes from that only a bakery can have. So what I'm going to do is pop the bakery over here, I think. It's not a bad shout. This will happen, and now we're on the lookout for heavy tools. The other thing that we'll start to do is I'm going to put a farm here for cows and a grazing area and whatever, but it then obviously means that we are on the lookout for cows. For those who have never played before, what you can do is you can make a request at the trading post. So I can, if I want to, go to the trading post and say, right, I insist that the next person that comes will bring whatever it is. But if you do that, you know you're going to get what you need. But, you know, cows, I think we've seen at 600, I think we've seen at 800. If you demand them, maybe 1200, 1500, 2000, it will be pretty ridiculous. So what I'd rather do is to build the farm ready for the cows, try and have the money ready should they arrive, but I'm in no rush for them right now. We've got plenty of food, the food's going up, so there's no worry about that. So yeah, we're not overly stressed about it. But if we happen to get cows, the problem is you can't buy them unless you've actually got somewhere to keep them. So what I'll do is let's put a barn in here somewhere, far enough away from the people, because again they're fussy and they don't like cows being anywhere near them. I mean, admittedly I probably wouldn't like a cow shed opposite my house either, but come on guys, surely I have the milk and the cheese and things from it. Who knows? How are we doing with these ones now? We've actually got some gardens down. Still a slight issue. The market's here, which is affecting all of these. These ones have got nothing affecting it, so I might put a shrine or something over here. I don't know what the range is on this shrine, but it's probably not quite hitting these ones. Or maybe I'll try and put a row of gardens along here to zhuzh this area up. We've got the gold to pay for it, so why not? Let's see what happens. No drama either way. What are we losing? There we go, look. We're losing grain. Where is it being lost at? Storage place. I don't think they're allowed to even keep that. What the hell are you doing? Oh, because they're keeping raw materials. This is why. Wants me to harvest some more trees. There we go, and take these ones out. For all conservationists amongst you, don't worry, we will replant these later on. And also, if you do get too emotional about it, just remember ultimately these are probably ones and zeros in binary. They're not real. So now we can see all our trees are planting quite nicely. They do take a little while until they'll mature and start actually producing fruit. Let's see one of the early ones. Here you see, it's only at 3%. But They will eventually bear fruit, and when they do, a great food source and highly sustainable. And it's also like a little bit of a one and done, so once you put them down and you put everything there, you can kind of leave it alone, they'll auto replant anyway, as long as you don't untick that box there. So we're heading up to 150, which is great. I mean, obviously no one's coming, but making it available to be able to at least head up to 150. You'll start to see these pop up where you'll see like the 5s and 2s, and this basically is because there's a button up here which will automatically upgrade. So as soon as somebody, you know, in a residential says, yeah, you know, you've met all the criteria, the house is in a desirable enough area, they'll just auto upgrade for you. So again, don't need to micromanage what you're doing. Same as you never need to micromanage the villagers, or not too regularly anyway. Now at least after saying, yeah, we don't worry about all these merchants that are coming in, now obviously when we actually do want a merchant to come in, we're not going to see any for a little while. But that's the nature of this game. Producing a decent amount of flax. I know we're producing some. I don't know if it's enough to cover the clothes that we're making. Let's just have a quick look. Everything in this game as well, you can go and check a graph for it somewhere, which will go along and do it, and you can break everything down by exactly what you're producing. So if we have a look on here and look at the flax, you can see that, yeah, whatever we're producing, we're pretty much using and then have none. So we're going to have to do something about that, maybe make a bigger field. But what I like to do is to make sure these are working how I want them to on a small field, and then you can expand them out. That's why sometimes going 5x5s or 5x10s is a great thing to do at the beginning. Just because you can get everything exactly as you want it before you then go to expand it. I'm a little worried that it's starting to come up saying there's an issue with firewood. There's that firewood split up here somewhere. He won't do anything until we get tier 3 town centre. It might just be because we were struggling with wood for a bit. Hopefully now we've set them to harvest a load more wood. That will all get resolved. We shall see. Seems they've done a relatively good job. Meat and fish all being smoked. Storing a decent amount of food here, which is good. I'm a bit worried that there's so many vegetables here. Under the smoked fish, so I don't quite know where it's going unless it's all going to market to be sold. Yeah, right, let's see. Come on, travelling merchant. Have some of the things that we want. And obviously we're going to have goats, not cows, and not a heavy machinery in sight. Our baskets have started, but obviously this is slow going, simply because we don't have enough people. But we will get there. You mark my words. Difficult to ever see anyone making soap and not think about Fight Club. But obviously we don't talk about that, right? First rule and all that. Okay, so he's now probably making too many bows. So let's switch off the bows. Let him carry on making arrows. Because that's exactly, I think, what the hunters are going to need. Foragers are busy foraging. Everyone's busy doing what they need to do. Maybe I need someone in marketing. And go and like get some Google AdWords or whatever and tell them, yeah, great colony, come and join us. All these people are stressing about, they need food, there's plenty around. They need water. You're not being funny. How lazy are you? Just go from there to there. The well has a load of water. Go and get it. Dick. So maybe we can put this one in the comments. Again, if anyone picks this up later on, how about this for the comments? Whose goal was better? Saka's or Bellingham's? Bellingham overhead kick against Slovakia, or Saka's curler against Switzerland tonight. Leave it in the comments. If you want my opinion, just so you can come and argue with it, I think I'm going to go with Saka's. I think Bellingham's probably felt better because the game was so bad and not even threatening their goal for 94.5 minutes. It just felt that wave of euphoria because they finally actually, you know, decided to have a shot and it went in. I think it probably made the goal feel better than it actually was. But Saka's, however, I think that was good. I thought he'd been fighting all game, and he was certainly our best player for, you know, or the one that you expected something was going to happen from. And it was great that it did. So yeah, we'll go into another game as the underdog. See what happens this time. Okay, so here's a great shout. So even though we're going to have to overpay for it, we can now get the heavy tool. Let me just make sure he hasn't got one cheaper. Nope. Okay, so we're going to overpay, but sometimes such is life. You overpay just to get what it is you need at the time. And hopefully we'll turn this into lots of bread, and it will be well worth every penny. So gold transfers generally don't take too long, so I expect to see that there any second. There we go. Now we can go along and buy an overpriced heavy tool, buy and transfer. Now what we should see, let me just set that as a priority just in case. I don't think there's anything else that's going to use it at the moment, but at least that can get done, and as a priority hopefully it will steal the flax as well. So it's going to be produced. Got 384 coming, so hopefully that will get used there. Let's see how this field is looking. So we lost 157 crops already, but it does look like we're going to make 816 wheats. So fingers crossed these wheats will go along. And I don't know whether or not I'm seeing things, but I think somebody may actually be watching this. If they are, do feel free to drop something in the chat. You will be an absolute legend to kind of go, yes, finally somebody is there to say hi to. So far we're only on 1 hour and 30 minutes when I've been sitting here talking to myself. I don't even know if it's going to pop up when you do send a message. Very new streamer, so yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Don't know if it's your first time you've ever seen anyone playing Farthest Frontier, but it's probably the first time you've seen anyone play it this badly. But it's about having some fun. Anyway, so where we're at the moment, we're halfway through Tier 2. We are pushing forward to Tier 3, so let's just see what we've still got to do. We still need some more homesteads. We're halfway, pretty much, just past halfway on the population. So it shouldn't be too long, especially as we start to pick up a bit of momentum and get going. So here we're still waiting for the bakery to be built. We should also have the windmill. The heavy tool that we just bought has gone to it, and hopefully the flax have got farmed from here. 393 that looks like it's going to come, should all clear off to here. So yeah, and then we've also got our barn being built, and hopefully, I mean obviously Sod's Law says that someone's going to come along to sell me cows when we won't have enough money to buy them, but never mind. Beggars can't be choosers and all that. So here we've got our fisheries going on. We've got our forager going to collect all the herbs. We've got another forager here collecting herbs from here. Here's our industrial area that's looking a bit pathetic at the moment, but it's all we need at the moment. And then we've got our main town. But what we would like is some more colonists. Right, let's get building. Let's put some more stuff together and hopefully it will be the trigger to get people here. So we don't need any more food production because I've still got to buy goats and chickens if that's the case. The arborist is already busy arboring. But what buildings don't we have yet? We don't have any work camps, and they may actually be pretty good to start getting us stone and wood. So let's put a work camp over here, because at least they can work on keeping it stocked with wood. Stable we're not too fussed about. Iron mine, I haven't actually seen any iron on this map yet. I'll tell you what we might do is just set to explore. See what else we find, because we are going to eventually need iron. There's sand. No gold storage, I don't need gold yet. Well, not I don't need gold, I don't need a place to store gold yet. My massive 465 gold probably doesn't need its own storage location yet. Although maybe it does. If it's telling me that this building's full up, oh there we go, because it's full up of grain. Because we haven't yet built our windmill. Until we build the windmill, I'll tell you what, let's put some storage down to stop that creating a problem. So here we can go along and put storage. So this one is the granary. The granary is really useful because it only stores certain resources in it, and one of those resources that it stores is grain, funnily enough. It's not just a clever name or anything. So we'll hopefully pop the stuff at the granary. That will then alleviate the problem here, but what I'll also do in the meantime is put down a vault, even though I really don't need a vault for 457, but it will get out our main storage. And probably the next thing I'll do is put down a second storehouse. Oh hang on, I can't put the vault down because I need iron, but let's put down a second storehouse just because I hate the idea of thinking it's full. perfect. It's not going to be too much of a big deal. Let's just put down 2. Then I don't have to think about it for a little while. Come on, little colonists, you can do it. I think the goddamn clothes place has just nicked my flag that I needed for here. That sucks. That is seriously not good. Tell you what, let's just sneak crop of flax in here, shall we? I normally do this, and I'd normally have a bit of patience, but tonight I just feel like getting it done. Yeah. We're on it. Stop stressing. There we go, look. We've got a new place. Store stuff in there. Grain is spoiling, but it's going to spoil until we can keep it filled. Let's prioritise that as well. Sorry to anyone watching anywhere around the world that was stupid enough to watch the football tonight. However, I don't know how the Turkey game went, so if anyone knows the score of that one, do feel free to drop it in chat. I don't know which one I'm hoping for out of Netherlands or Turkey to play England next. To be fair, I think whichever one it is will both be favourites against us. Unfortunately. But you never know. Certainly this game was better than the last one, so by the law of averages we might have an okay game by the time we get to the final. Who knows? Right, come on guys, let's go along and switch this stuff out. I don't care about storing willow, but once that's built I can tell them to stop storing grain at least. In fact, if I switch that off, they'll move it to somewhere else and then we won't keep seeing this stupid icon telling me that it's full. And what I'll probably also do is this a little, I don't know whether it's a bug or a bit that not many people know about, but you can have unlimited gold here. It doesn't actually count towards what you're storing. So if you do find yourself running out of storage space, you can always transfer things over to the trading post, which will help you out as well. Again, remember this game's in early release, so it's at like 0.92. They have released a roadmap, but I haven't seen anything on the development plan to say they're going to stop the trading post being able to hold whatever you want to send to it, because ultimately that's the whole point of the trading post. So have we found any iron yet? What's over here? There we go. So we have got some iron, but that is a long way to go. Is anything closer? Don't think so. The problem is when it's at winter time, all of these things look grey, so it's not quite as obvious as it is when you have a look in the summer, where these are all bright colours and then you just look for the grey one, which is the iron. What's that one? Hawthorn. Nothing. The abyss of nothingness. Nothing. I think that might be the closest iron. Either that or I've just gone past some. What's this one? No, that's coal. Close, but good to remember because that's one that I'm definitely going to go after. It's nicely set to be not far off my road either. Don't know if I can mine coal yet, but if I can I certainly will. There we go, coal mine, perfect. Where's my road going to be? God, I hate being so OCD that I want to clip everything onto roads. There we go, that'll do the job. Somehow I'm going to have to work out. And this is where you have like a difficult decision of going, do you decide to kind of create an almost new little mini village around here to be able to mine the iron, or do you just whack a shelter over there? Again, I think if I'd played this game thousands of times I'd probably have the answer to that, but as it stands at the moment I haven't played enough times to really know which one is the most efficient way to do it. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least put a road out to it. And again, for those who like the OCD-ness of straight roads, let the shift key become your best friend. Because then it doesn't matter how far you go, it will keep the road straight. But yeah, I just have this fear of like sending someone out here that they're going to run out of food or run out of something. They're going to spend all their time commuting. Well, let's get the iron mine down anyway. I can work out what I'm going to build around it later. So let's put an iron mine here. So, let's kill that one. I'm going to put an iron mine in the middle of the two of them, and hopefully it'll be able to mine both of them. I can't remember if that works or not, but it's rare to find two this close together. So I'm going to pop it there and then send the road to it, obviously in straight lines. I kind of almost feel sorry for the developers as well. You know, I think the developers had this whole thing about how proud they were that, you know, in this game, look, you can create roads that are, they don't necessarily have to be straight, you know, it'll find lines of best fit or whatever. And there's me with OCD going, yeah, but all I want to do is build them straight. So, you know, sorry for the thousands of hours that went into that development, but I couldn't give two shits about. In fact, I'd prefer if they all just went straight. May not be creative, may not be beautiful, but it's certainly functional. At least it makes sense in my head. So here's the thing, I think that, you know, sometimes you forget about this because you keep getting like new immigration and a new villager born. It doesn't take that long for your colonists to creep up without having the big influx of colonists that comes from, you know, when you get travellers coming to see you. So yeah, I just need to keep an eye on that one. Okay, let's see what else we've got. Tell me that he has a cow or something. No, obviously not. Obviously not, because it's the one thing that I actually need him to have. So yeah, sorry buddy. You're of no use to me trading. Still don't have our windmill, despite the fact it's prioritised. However, this flak should probably give us enough. There we go, look, we've got, should have 384. So if we've got 384 coming, nothing bad happening with this field. There you go, you can see, so by switching off the storage for the wheat, what I am going to do as well is I need to switch off all food storage here. And I'm also going to switch off these here as well, just because it will then force it into the granary, and the same with this one. The problem is that if you don't switch these off and you let the storehouses store food, it goes off considerably faster. Whereas if you switch them off and just put down, and by the way, don't worry about micromanaging a fire, as long as you've got enough colonists they'll fix that for you. But yeah, so as long as you have the hell was I talking about? Yeah, just pop down enough root cellars. Root cellars are great because they will store food for longer, and you'll have less spoilage of food. That's what they're designed for. But if you let them store in the market or store in storehouses, this is where you'll end up with something like this. So you've got 4 months worth of food, but 3 months of it is going to spoil in the next 12 months. I bet there'll be a load of food stored here as well. Switch it off. What's he bitching about? They need flour. No shit, they need flour. He needs flax. There's the flax. Oh, hang on, where's the flax field? There it is. Until that happens, we ain't got no flax. And I can't get any, and none of the traders seem to have what I want anyway. I suppose I didn't actually check to see whether or not he had flax. I know it's one of those weird things, you never really actually bother checking for it because you know you can always grow it, but there we go. We'll have it in a second. Be patient, young Padawan. But I think now at least all of these shelters are upgrading, which is great news. I guess obviously now the gardens have gone in. However, still all a problem at the saw mines. Right, we've got 2 here just in case we've got the opportunity to trade one off against the other. I've just paused it to have a little look and see what's what. So can I buy cheap daggers? I can buy daggers for 196. Whoa, look at this. Now this must be the shittest deal ever. I can buy daggers off him for 196 and sell them to this one for 122. Yeah, where do I sign up for that? Not. Right, what about iron? Does he want to sell me iron cheap? Nope. We've got the heavy tools, but we've already picked that one up. These tools are always useful, so I might pick a couple of these up, especially while we're still waiting for the stupid guy to come along with a cow. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick a couple of these up. I don't need too many, but just some. Because it takes a while. I think it's like tier 3 or tier 4. I think it's tier 3 where you can start building the mines that will actually be able to make these. But it's a little way to go yet, and so you will need these. So what I'm going to do is buy and transfer them so it goes into my village. Is there anything that I'm now actually starting to make at any real quantity that's worth sending to the trader? Stupid grain, but that's because I haven't got my windmill and everything up and running yet. Willow, but I'm trying to use that to make baskets. We've got 13 whole baskets. Tell you what, that might not be a bad thing to start doing. Let's set a permanent transfer to send like 25, shall we, to the trading post and make it a repeating. Confirm that, and then at least we'll always have something at the inventory to hopefully trade if they want it. I mean, obviously now you know that we're not going to get any visitors that actually want baskets for the next 5 years, but you can but hope, right? God, this is just, it's always so frustrating that you just need, you know, once that happens, that happens, once that happens, that happens, you know, then I can fix that, fix this, fix this, fix this, but it just needs that one thing to trigger the domino effect to get everything done for you. Here we go, look. My villagers are coming through the school. Hang on, is this complaining that it's spoiling food again? I didn't think they were holding any. Stop storing food at the market. Let the food go to the root sellers. Here we go, finally. Windmill's going to go up. Let me just make sure. I don't know if this was the seller that had the have we got enough to get another one of these? Yeah, go on. Let's just take one more. The reason I want to do this is because I want to put a second windmill up because it looks like we're getting too much grain, and I want to turn it into flour so we can keep a constant supply of bread going. So let's buy and transfer this to the town. Cow's going to have to wait a little bit, but let's pop another windmill up. There you go. So here we go, windmill number 1. Let's put a second worker in there, and hopefully this problem with having too much grain that's now spoiling everywhere. I know we're losing medicinal roots as well. You got enough to start putting a healer in? I'm not overly fussed about having a healer yet. Yeah, but look, it's like Rocky 4. If he dies, he dies. But yeah, if we have to lose a villager or two just to save me not having to pay 25 gold out every single month. Okay, Sarah. Yeah, I'm not really fussed about having that yet. Let's carry on with having a look and see what else we haven't got. So we haven't got a sand pit, but famous last words, I don't need sand yet. The apiary I actually really want to put down, but I haven't actually just done it yet. So let's just put down an apiary quick. And these are brilliant because they can take up like tiny little spaces, which are really useful. But I think sometimes, I don't know, I'm sure I read it somewhere that they can end up stinging your residents. So instead, what I like to do is I like to put the apiaries not too far away from the farms. I don't know why. It's just a habit I've got into in this game. So there we go. Couple of apiaries, and that will get us some bees and some honey and wax or whatever it is. So happy days. Look how efficient she is. So good. Right, and there we go. So we are going to get that fertilised with compost as well, which is amazing. Can see a little warning saying we're going to struggle for stone, so let's just have a look and see if we've got any stones around here. There's a little bit there, nothing here. There you go, there's a few there, which is good. I think there'll be a few there. Well, that will at least keep us going a little bit. And if we have a look at the work camp, these guys are now just going to carry on getting us some trees, so that should speed everything up. And the nice part is once we can upgrade this, and I think it upgrades at next tier. In fact, maybe it might even upgrade now. Oh, hang on, but we need bricks to do it. So yeah, so this I think is going to upgrade at next tier, and when this upgrades, what you can do is you can set it to replant as well, which is really, really handy. Just have a look and see. God, I get way too attached to these people and worried that, like, hang on a second, are they all in isolation and not going to cope? And how's the mental health going to deal with being so isolated for so long? And realise that they're little pixels on the screen, but bless them, somebody's got to care for them, right? This is the same guy who just went, yeah, I'm not spending 25 gold to be able to heal him and just let him die. It's just I don't like the idea of one guy being isolated out here. Okay, so villagers are still going up, that's great news. Do you know what? I actually think with like how this is growing here, so we've got the school in the middle, which is nice, we've got a market here, which is covering this area. We've got another market here that's covering this area. What I might do is I think I'm going to put a few more houses here, and then after that I'm going to start caring for these people over here. What I might do is to start putting a few houses here and actually almost create a second area. Just because we've got, you know, everything's working fairly harmoniously here right now. You know, yeah, I know we've had a bit of an issue with food and a bit of issue with overstocking grain and bits and pieces, but I think it's fixing itself. So the raw materials here, look, is now in the right place. This is now starting to produce flour, which is fantastic. We've got a grazing area that we have to also place for the cows, which I'm going to put over here, which obviously is for cows that we don't have yet, by the way. But let's pop that there, which should be far enough away from the town centre. Well, not far enough away, but far enough away from the villagers. Here we go, look, 14 more. Now we've actually started to get a bit more of a colony. In a minute I'm going to be complaining I've got too many guys. Or girls, guys, whatever. Colonists. Get my politically correct term together. I was doing it on an earlier stream. It's always quite funny. On an earlier stream, yeah, like 1 of 1, and this is 1 of, or 2 of 2. But on the stream I did earlier, I was talking about this and kind of, you know, stressing over about calling the people on here guys, and it kind of sounds almost like, oh yeah, here comes another misogynistic man and everything's male and whatever, until I started calling plants guys. Then suddenly it's like, yeah, it's just a turn of phrase, don't stress about it. I could haul myself out for comments and say, if you are triggered by me referring to plants as guys, please leave a comment, but yeah, I don't think I'm actually going to haul myself out that much. Okay, so let's go along and start getting the next bit of residential built here, so we can start to build out a little bit and start to kind of earmark how we want this to expand, because we need to get up to 150 anyway. We've only got 131, and we can also trigger off the back of this market to be able to go a bit further up here. So I might cover this area first, and then work out what I'm going to do as something appealing to keep people interested here. So let's go into houses and pop down some houses. So we're going to keep this neat and tidy off the back of these ones. And then I can go along and follow the same pattern here. So again, sorry if you haven't heard me mention it before, but it's great to leave a little space around these. You don't have to do it on all 4 sides, so you'll see when I do the second one, I'll attach those ones to the first. But it's almost like little blocks of houses together, and the reason being that you can put gardens in between them, which are really good and help with desirability. So unlike your Age of Empires 2 and Empire Earth and stuff, where the only point of having decorations was if you're doing a playthrough or something on a stream where you want to try and make something look pretty or beautiful, or, you know, something that you can create screenshots to and put them on Steam or something. This one, actually, the gardens make a massive difference. So if you didn't know that, I remember, I think the first time I played this I was really struggling to get people from shelters, or I think I got them from shelters to homesteads, and thought, well, hang on a second, I'm going to need so many markets and so many schools and everything just to get the desirability up, until I realised actually just pop down a garden and it will do the same thing. Suddenly everything became much easier. So here, if I show you, I think these are all homesteads now because I've got gardens down here. And there's a shelter, but he's got garden, so we might need something a bit more, you know, solid here to do it. So I mean, maybe not a school, maybe a flagpole or something. Don't think we've got one of these down. Festival pole. I don't know why it's literally every single time I keep coming out with these things, I just have the stupid childish humour going around in my head, and I don't quite know the audience that I'm aiming for or what I'm trying to build. So I think I'll probably just keep my childish humour to myself for the moment, and maybe once we've got a few more in the community, then I might start breaking out my stupid puns of, you know, acting like I'm 13 again. Okay, so let's pop down a flagpole here. This will go along and then create a decent desirability around it. It will finish these ones off. I would imagine it will also go along and turn these shelters into homesteads as well. And with these extra houses, this will happily get me to 150. We're still having a slight issue with food. Let's just see. Has our bakery now started to actually produce bread? Yes, it has. So that's positive. Because that, I think, will also help with the problem. Let's just see where the issue really is. I think there's... Whoa, okay, there is a slight problem with this. But I don't know what's causing it. Let's go and have a look. So, we're producing way more grain, but it is what it is. Vegetables are down, obviously, because I stopped producing them in the field. Okay. Right, maybe what we're going to do, let's put down another field, and then we'll have that one more for vegetables. So this one and this one can deal with flax, and they can deal with the grain that we're going to need for bread. What we're going to do is we're going to have another one, and that's going to be designed just purely for some vegetables. So let's pop that down as well. Food production farm. So we're going to go with the same, we're going with a 5x10 here. But there's nothing more I can do with it yet. And obviously having a building on fire is never a great shout, especially when it's probably my bakery. Yep. Never mind, get that fire out, get that bread made. There's people counting on you for food. I think I've also got quite a lot of people foraging for berries and autumn sod, so it's never good in the winter. Let's at least hope that once it turns to a summer month, we'll not see this sorry state of affairs anymore. And I would hope, yeah, so the trees are now starting to get to a bit more maturity as well, which will be useful. Because again, all of these things will start to produce wood for us. Happy days. What's this full of? Raw materials again, but it's because they're not completing the second windmill. So let's get that done. Let's get that over and finished, and then hopefully, I don't know whether the bakery is struggling for enough flour. Doesn't seem to be, but we've also got slots to be able to put far more people in this as well. So maybe let's put another one in there. Up our bread production game. We're going to increase the amount of flour we can produce. Let's increase the amount of bread and stop this being a problem anymore. What do you think? Anyone got any great ideas in terms of what we should be building? Come and get this stuff and get it taken away. Let's have all these people working, that they're working tirelessly to get this farm ready. This is going to help as well, because this is going to produce a whole load of vegetables, and I think that's automatically like 4 or 5 months worth as well. So we're going to quickly see that number shoot up in a minute once that field gets farmed. And this one, again, it's nice to keep an eye on your farms just to check that the weed levels are minimal and the rockiness are nil or close to nil. Let's see what this trader wants to trade with me. No doubt he's going to have a really cheap cow that I'm not going to be able to afford now. No, happy days. But he is going to buy my basket, so that's not a bad shout. So let's just get rid of these. We know we're making more, we know we've got plenty of willow, so there's no stress about running out of these, and it's not one of those resources that you desperately need. It's more just a case of people appreciate them, people like nice things, and it will help you get up through like tier 2 to tier 3 and tier 3 to tier 4, so these are more of a luxury item than a necessity. And right now I'd rather just have the gold, in case someone turns up with a cow. The crazy part is I don't even know what I'm going to do with one cow. I'm sure I'm going to need 2. Kind of law of nature and all that, right? Come on, windmill, be finished. Oh, look how dark it is over here. I reckon they're all literally scared to come out here. It doesn't look like a pleasant place to go, does it? Can't imagine you're going to see Christmas lights up there or anything. Okay, come on, let's get this field finished so we can start to plan it. And I think what you'll see here is, I think that's that field, isn't it? Once that goes, you'll see the effect of a good harvest of some vegetables. Right, we're ready for assignment. So here we go, we need to get the weeds down massively, that's the priority. So best one to get rid of weeds is buckwheat. That will suppress them quick as you like. Or not quick as you like, because I'd like them to be much faster, but you know, in a decent speed. The only thing obviously to bear in mind is it's going to knock your fertility down 1% for each one you build or grow. So now we've got -1, -2, -3. We'll pop him to do a little bit of work, just because I think the farmers will get rid of weeds, but if not, they'll certainly deal with the rockiness. But we've got -1, -2, -3, and then if we put down a field of clover in year 3, and maybe 2 fields of clover. There we go. So what you're going to end up with is you're going to end up with the weeds going down quickly, the fertility going up relatively quickly, the rockiness should come down really quickly, which means we'll have a really nice field to be able to use, but it will just obviously going to take a couple of seasons for it to go through. But Rome wasn't built in a day and all that. Again, if I was speed running this, maybe different, but we're not. We're having some fun. What do you think we should do next? We've now obviously got the festival pole. You'll see that, there we go, there's your upgrade that I thought would happen. I think you'll probably get one here as well, because they're pretty much there. So I think the next garden that appears anywhere, or the next anything nice that happens, will tip those ones over the edge as well. What do you think next? Do you think we're going to go up and... Hang on a sec. Our work camp is now empty because apparently there's not any decent food around. So let's send it. Let's go and send them to go and work around here. Keep them busy for a bit. So what do you reckon? Do you reckon we carry on building this out? Or should we go up here and create a new space altogether? I think I'm going to go and create a new space just because it'll be fun. So I don't think this has any, crazy as it sounds, I don't think the iron mine is actually, you know, undesirable. However, I'm also not going to build too close to it either. So maybe, what about that? Maybe a little area around here. We're going to have some clay here, we're going to have some iron here, so let's put a little road down here that can then also connect to the main road somewhere in there. I don't know, hold down shift, at least it will be straight. Let's put some bits and pieces in here just to get it started. Thing is, I don't know how many people are actually going to come out here because it's such a trek from where it is, or from where we are. Don't know if they're going to be in a race to get here, but let's find out. Okay, so let's pop down a well. Let's get down a... So we've got a source of water. Now let's go along and organise a source of food, so we can get some fishing done here at least. That's a decent enough space. And then what we also want to do is to put a couple of houses down, because then at least we've got what else are we going to need? We're going to need firewood as well for when it gets cold. We can do that. All we've got to do is convince the first few settlers to find their way down here, and then I think the rest will be okay. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a market in the middle of these ones instead. Problem is that at the moment they're going to have to keep going back to get all the resources they need to build here, because they obviously don't build wood planks and they're not gathering any stone yet. But I think if I can put a stockyard in here, I think it will allow the wagons to come between the two, which will hopefully speed things up a bit. And obviously me pressing plus on the keyboard and turning it to 3-speed will also speed things up a bit. The thing is, I know they've got so much up here to be building. I'm not too sure which one to prioritise right now. I think what I want to do is I want to make sure there's a saw mine. But I also want to make sure there's a firewood splitter as well, so let's put both of those down, or saw pit, isn't it? So we'll put the saw pit down over by where the mine is going to be, just because it's an undesirable, so let's get it out of the way. And we'll do exactly the same thing with the firewood splitter. And now, with any luck, probably going to create a little section I don't know. Look at this, you could come and buy yourself a little holiday resort overlooking the lake. Can't be bad, right? I think by the time the market goes down, they will hopefully find it a good place to be, but at the moment this is the problem, that they're doing the trek backwards and forwards to try and get everything we need over here. But let's see if we can make it self-sufficient, shall we? We're also going to need a storehouse up here. So for storage we're going to need food and a storehouse. So let's pop a storehouse. We want it to be somewhere close enough to the village where they're not going to have to go too far to get to it. So I think trying to pop what we can down here I think won't be a bad shout. Don't need another storehouse, dickhead. Right, there we go, and a root cellar. So we'll pop that there as well. So now, once they've at least got enough resources to start building everything here, hopefully the iron mine and everything that's going to be here won't be such a bad shout. Probably want to have a smokehouse just to deal with the fish. But let's see. I don't know what my villagers are annoyed about this time. Oh, there's a shocker. They're worried about food. undoubtedly one of the biggest things they ever stress about in this game. Where's their next meal coming from? Maybe there'll be an Uber Eats patch or something and they can just order in, right? And the city's got a decent amount of gold. I'm going to certainly go for like kebabs or fish and chips all round or something. Just in case anyone's thinking on the live or watching this back, what the hell is this guy going on about, talking about whether or not our villagers can go and organise Uber Eats or getting kebabs and fish and chips. Just remember, I've kind of been talking to myself near enough for 2 hours and 15 minutes, which is enough to drive most people mad. Or at least certainly a good sign of insanity, right? Right, come on, look, we know we're going to deal with our firewood. Any guys or any people? Staying here? Not yet. I think it's probably not a bad shout either. Oh, hang on, we do have 3 here. And they've got no medicines, no firewood, and no food. Bad, bad, and worse, right? Hopefully they'll stock up. There you go, they've stocked from the other place, so now at least they do have some food in storage, which is good. They've got some firewood. I don't think they've got medicines. Maybe we should start having a look at what else we need to do to start building or to start creating medicines. I think, I don't know if I'm imagining things, but they're asking for stuff that's tier 3. So they're asking for cupboards and whatever, which we can't do. Can't do beer yet, we can't do gold and iron ore, we can't make the tools and the heavy tools. We can't make bricks, we can't make glassware, we can't make paper, and we can't make books. But, if that's the case, maybe we can make medicines. It's not in any of those. I really missed it. Anyone who's seen it and just gone, yeah, you're an idiot, you just missed it, please chip in and let me know. Pub, nope. Apocryphy. There you go, that's where you make medicine, so yeah, I haven't gone mad. I haven't missed it yet. We just can't make them yet. Right, let's speed this up as well. I think this is the well, isn't it? So we'll prioritise the well. To make sure the guys in the shelter have at least got a supply of water. We definitely don't want them doing this trek just to get water. And you can see here we've also got an issue with firewood, so let's slow things down again. What is the issue? These are dropping logs, so let's just put more people on the job, and hopefully many hands make light work. We'll get that all done. After all that, eventually we'll get our mine built, I reckon. Either that or everyone's going to quickly die from not having firewood. Let's just help them out, shall we? There we go. Right, let's see what this merchant has to offer. Obviously, I don't know why I keep scrolling down thinking that finally someone's going to bring cows, but I'm sure the first time actually someone brings cows I'm going to miss it just because I'll be given up of having a look for the last 50 times. Right, we probably will need iron ore at some point, but not yet. actually finished iron. Probably need that, but can't do it yet. So just gonna have to plod on and carry on with our Viva Las dark place near the hill. It's somewhere like between a cross between some kind of voyage into Mordor versus a beautiful lake retreat. I mean, either that or Jaws is going to appear here and Gollum's going to come out of the hole in the mountain. Come on, peeps, let's get some of this stuff moving. Let's pop down another work camp, shall we? Over here somewhere. A little bit away from the village. But hopefully that will start to encourage more tree collection. I think once we've got more trees and logs, the firewood stops becoming a problem, the saw pit stops becoming a problem. I don't know what that is talking about. Work area empty needs to... Oh, it's because it's looking to try and find stone. Right, tell it just to go find wood. We know there's no stone there. So we can come up with a phrase if there's no stone unturned. Or every stone has a silver lining. I don't know. But we can harvest for stone for the time being. And then later on, anyway, when you get to tier 3 or tier... I put my teeth in. Tier 3, I think it is, or tier 4. Oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. You know I'm going to demolish this and rebuild it, right? Get rid of it. Yes. Cannot exist. Yeah, tier 3 or tier 3 and tier 4, you can start mining the unlimited stuff. So in here you've got unlimited iron, but here is a deep stone deposit, which basically is unlimited stone. You just can't get it yet, and certainly I'm not going to be able to get it from there because it's not on an even enough keel, but we'll flatten the ground and get that. So we'll be okay later on, but for the time being, it's still go and find stone separately. Does Trader 2 want to sell me a cow? No, obviously not. Do they want to pay me an extortionate amount for something I have lots of? That's not a bad deal there for soap. And maybe I need to start thinking about making candles. Maybe. Yeah, we'll get back to it later. Well, look, we've got another fishing lake as well. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with that piece of information, but sometimes you just spot these things and think, yeah, maybe I'll use them later. But for the time being, let's carry on with our beautiful lake house. Please hurry up and get us some food. I need to keep an eye on those farms, I think. Certainly I'm hoping the second windmill's working. Okay, so now we've got no issue with the windmill, so the windmills are working, they're producing loads of flour, so that's great. And the other one is doing the same, probably at extra speed, so let's put a second guy in there. Person, whatever. There we go, look, it's Camilla and Tara. And I'm sure Camilla and Tara will do a fantastic job. This is okay, this is okay. Is the bakery outputting as much bread as it could be? No, let's increase those. And hopefully keep saying this, but hopefully we will start to sort out our issue with food. This would be great for flax. Great for this, but only one time where we're going to do any vegetables. And the second field, only one time we're doing any vegetables. I understand what the problem is now. We are not focused enough on vegetables. So let's kill this just because I don't think we're going to need the extra flax that we were getting before. I mean, we might need it, but right now we need food more. So let's clear that crop. These ones are only using to increase fertility, which is, you know, counteracting all the stupid wheat that we're getting. So let's just get some more vegetables down. Let's just... What I hate on these is having these empty spaces. Again, it's probably an OCD thing, but I'd rather put them doing something than doing nothing. Maybe what I'll do is if I take him out and take this one out and then pop that one in instead. Same crop. We'll see how that goes. But I'm just hoping that very soon we'll stop seeing this being stupidly low. I hate not having enough food because it's almost like the bit you end up having to spend 75% of the game on. Just keep on fighting to go along and say, well, we need more food, we need more food, we need more food. I'm going to pop another granary here as well, just because it looks like it's running out of space. And that's probably just storing grain. What a surprise, the building's on fire. How's my lake house getting on? Right, so we've now finally got a fishing shack, so that's great. It's only working at 7 fishing areas and 90%. We can do better than that. Let's try and find, there we go, we've got 190%, 180, 130. Nope, I think 190 is about the best we're going to get. Oh, hang on, there was a 200 there. Yeah, but it's too far away. There you go, 190. Got a 190 close by. There we go. That's where we're going to fish. That will get us our 190. Let's put a smoker somewhere in here as well. Again, it's one of those pain in the ass things where you know you want to put the smoker right by the fish, right by the fishing shack, but they're going to hate it. So instead, it's going to have to go over in our industrial area. But here is to hoping that we're going to get some settlers. It's not so bad, I don't think. We've got... What do we actually have here? We've got 4 here. It's not awful. Get this prioritised just so I can see whether or not they'll run the wagons between them. Then we can start to get everything built. Now I don't have to freak out about that crazy issue we had earlier. The road is connected. That road is connected, so yeah, we're alright. Oh, that freaked me out when I looked down that road and just saw that it was off. Storage full, storage full. Come on peeps, get to work. That's crazy. We've got all these things full of resources, but no food. Gotta up the bread output. And the thing that I really need to see is one of the traders coming along and bringing cows. The problem is I don't have enough cash. I don't know, maybe I do. Let's just have a look and see what we've got. 488 plus another 1081. Let's transfer this over. 1569. See, the problem is if I force a... Oh no. Do we do it? What do we think, chat? Let's go and have a look at this person and decide. Do we think that Dunwaled, for Dunwaled we're going to build a healer's house and try and fix him? Do you know what? Why am I such a soft touch in these games? I definitely should have just let him go. But I just can't bring myself to it. Maybe if I could, didn't have enough, or knew that I wouldn't have the monthly income to be able to do it, I'd probably have bailed on it. But I know I can fix him. Because I know I can fix him, I can't stop myself doing it. Come on everyone, all hands on deck. Let's get the healer done. Prioritise it and let's see if we can fix Dunwaled before he dies. Oh, sugar. And I also moved all of the gold, obviously, to the trader's post. So we're going to have to move some back. We need 100 for that. Send 200 just in case. Let's get the road ready for this emergency rush to surgery. If nothing else, if the amazing colonists don't build this fast enough. Let's see whether or not we can see like a deterioration or something. His health's at 100% at the moment. Warm enough. Good, 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 good. So everything is okay right now, other than having a fractured bone. I'm so surprised that it doesn't actually flag up anywhere. It tells you they're definitely sick, but nothing in the list to actually show them as sick. How are we getting on with this? Got more than enough logs. Got people working on the sawmill. Got poor old Dunwaled, whatever. Still poorly. Come on, I gave you the gold to fix this. We just need the people to focus on getting it done. And I think we've got to pick someone to go and be a doctor. Sure, he's not happy. He's got no beer and he's probably got a broken leg. His happiness is supposed to go down. Poor guy's got half a leg hanging off and he can't even have a beer. I don't know if I can watch this or whether or not I'm going to have to just see it come up saying, yeah, he's dead. And here's the now because I'm so focused on trying to get stupid Dunwaled fixed, we're just ignoring the fact that no one else has any food. Right, this is amazing. So the weed levels come right down. the fertility I think is going to go up. So this is going to be my amazing crop field soon. So I'll tell you what, why don't we start expanding these out? So they are producing masses of flour, that's great. This is storing loads of flour, which means the culprit is the bakers. They are not churning out enough bread. So, how do we fix this? Obvious move. I'm going to put down another bakery. Let's go and put it somewhere over here. What do you think? Somewhere on that road. Let's take it one back from the road. Pop it down there, and then hopefully it can serve these people. And secondly, we can start to turn all this flour into this not being an issue anymore. Okay. That's my third hunter cabin. Yeah, that's okay. Not that they're out of arrows or something, is it? I think you might be out of arrows. Did I just stop making them? Nope. Must have arrows somewhere. None in that one. None in that one. You got 306 arrows. Go and get some arrows. What was that? I have to spoon feed them anymore. Creating a problem because I don't have any arrows, and yet there's a storehouse with 300 arrows in it. That's not going to help us. This, however, will massively help us. What I might do for the time being almost switch this off just for a little bit. So not switch off the field, but stop producing wheat, rye, wheat. Just because I think we've got too much of it right now. Right, there we go. Love this. That's a massive result for us. Get a lot of stuff sent here, so let's start getting some of this stuff sold and turning all these goods, because it's also the nice part about trading is you can get rid of the surplus of stuff that you're holding, which you think, yeah, it's not going to be a bad idea, but it is a bad idea when the storehouses all suddenly find that they're full, because you're holding all this stuff that is way more than you actually need. So what we're going to do is we're going to set it so all of these will always hold 50 of each of these, or certainly 50 of the things that I know I'm producing enough of. So once I unpause, we're going to find the 14 of those will quickly move over. They'll now go and pick up 50 of my 75 clothes and bring them, and 50 shoes. You're looking for these double lap arrows, because you see these double lap arrows, especially when it's products that you know you've got. It's a fantastic way to quickly turn them into cash, and turn them into cash at decent money as well. So there we go, we're now over 2,000. If we can get these clothes gone, this is going to be another 1,000. Here we go. We're literally going to clean them out of cash. 1,000 to go. We know the shoes are en route because they've come out of this inventory, but haven't appeared in this one yet. Obviously, just bear in mind when you do go through a selling spree like this, just be warned that they will carry on trying to restock it again. Right, but sorry that we are going to take you for every single gold bar you've got, give or take 17. Is there anything you're trying to get rid of at a decent price? We've got a crude weapon and we've got halbergs. Now, because we're playing in pacifist mode, I don't care about any of those right now. However, you never know, you could be this person could be looking to buy them at an extortionate rate, but unfortunately not. Not looking to sell anything stupidly cheap. So now gold is no longer really a problem. We've got 3,500. The town is picking up, which is great. Somehow the healer's house is not finished. But look at this. Dunwild is magically healed himself. There we go. God, he was making a big deal about that. Couple of splints and he's good. Either that or someone just amputated his foot. But either way, he is back to work, which is what we need him to be doing. And I think finally, even my iron mine is now producing, so that's amazing. What's this one that we're still waiting on? The saw pit. Work camp is obviously busy working. I don't know whether this is like the definition of non-sustainable forestry, but the fertility is not great around here. However, needs must, but we will fix it all later. Right, now I think we're going to make the press to let's go along, you know, because the gold part, when we first looked at this, we weren't never going to get to 2,000 gold, but we know for well at the trading post we've got 3,500, so that's not a problem. The wood planks I think we can quickly push through once we get them at the second sawmill up, and to get 7 more homesteads shouldn't be too much of a problem, so let's work on getting these done. That'd be a nice way to go along and get ourselves to tier 3. So what we're looking at is kind of to find the low-hanging fruit. So when you see a homestead and a shelter next to each other, you know full well that there's probably not a lot to flick it over. So you can see here the shelter is one nice thing away. Same as this one isn't too far away. So let's have a look what we've got here. And this is shelters as well. But the bakery is going to help, the healer's house is going to help. It just depends on the circumference and the range of how far out they go. But there you go, you see. It's been enough to trigger it, which is brilliant. So now instead of 18, we're going to have 19 homesteads. So what I'm also going to do is just to quickly pop down some gardens, which should be enough to escalate everything here. Only spending gold, but we now know we've got gold coming to us in at a decent rate. But we can always trade for more if we need it. So, our little village up here. Looks to be doing alright. I've got to finish building the roads, but we're on the way. We're now starting to store raw materials here, which is excellent. They've got their own smokehouse up here. They're now splitting their own firewood, which again is awesome for the residents up here. Do you know what? This is not a bad little area right now. I mean, there's obviously going to be a few more bits and pieces we need to do to it, but it's certainly well on its way. Let's just check how our fields are getting on, because I think we've got there we go, we're going to have some kind of drought or something crashing our crops again. This will be great because we're going to get a load of veg off the back of this. We'll get it again next year as well, and I don't know whether or not this is what we were talking about. Do we go along and crash this crop? Do you know what? I think we're going to do it. If we need it back later on, we can always go along and bring it back. But let's go and find something different. But bearing in mind it was a -6% crop anyway, I don't really care about putting something in that's like a -3 or -4, because we're balancing out for it anyway with the clover that we've got going down. What about a turnip and a something? Turnip and a cauliflower or something. Fit that in? Nope. What about turnips and carrots? Nope. What can we put with turnips? I'm really bored of these plain veggies. But there we go, look, it's going to do the job, isn't it? And now we should at least have 3 cycles where that's at least going to make veggies. This is going to top it up, because every 3 years we're now going to have barley coming in as well. And this field is now getting to the point where the weeds are going down, the fertility is going to carry on going up. Ignore the fact that it's saying, oh yeah, it's going down, because what you're actually looking at is probably from the last season. In the last season you would have had this plant, which gives you fertility down 1%. Once this season goes through, you'll probably end up with double ups, because these are both +3s for fertility. So that's good. They'll get rid of the weeds, so we're probably 2-3 years off in game time anyway. Being able to turn that into a really useful field. Let's see, how's my second bakery getting on? Whinging about something, probably. It's not quite there yet. But I don't like the fact it's whinging about water, so let's put another well down. It's not gone blue, so it's okay. Just so you know, if you've got an issue when you're putting down wells, you'll see they'll go blue. And basically it's just telling you you're too close to another well. You want to keep them relatively spread out, but you obviously don't want them too far either. So let's just expedite that. Then I don't have to worry about seeing another red mark of complaining about something. Amazing. Okay, I'll tell you what, from when we first looked at this, when we came up to here where we were looking at the iron mine and it looked dark and dingy and horrible, at least there's a couple of houses, and the market, I think once that goes in, will make a big difference. Let's prioritise that as well. The thing is, you keep seeing different things and going, hang on, let me just prioritise that and prioritise that. Before you know it, you'll have 12 building projects that are all prioritised, which means it's the same as not prioritising any of them. Dickhead. how lazy is these people? Look, hang on a second. So let's get this straight. You're complaining you don't have water, despite coming out of your front door and having to worry about walking into a well that is stopped full of water. There you go. I thought you'd change your tune. Dickheads. Right. So, where are we at now in terms of the task at hand? How are we still at 18? I swear we've got some new homesteads. Oh, because it's not quite gone up yet, and nor's this one. Is the sawmill ready here? Because if it is, I'm going to start adding more and more and more employees to this. Or should I just go along and click the, oh, let's prioritise something else. What a knob. Right, farm's good and being fertilised now as well from the tip. That's great. Gold is good, we've got plenty of that coming in now. Farms are doing what they need to be doing. Windmills are windmilling. I'm hoping that we're not going to be holding too much perfect. And perfect, that's definitely much better in terms of grain. Still way too much flour we're holding, but you know what I'm going to end up doing? Hitting prioritise on this as well. Stop hitting priority. Just wait for shit to happen. Here they come. Right, now it's pure focus on getting these resources up. The hell, did someone just appear with a wheelbarrow and then didn't actually deliver? There you go. Come on, little meeps. All we need to do is just put the 13, I don't know, man hours, whatever it is, the 13 final steps into this, and we'll have another sawmill. We'll just stop running out of timber. Or not. There you go. I think that's the wagon. It looks pretty wagonish, doesn't it? There you go. That's now transferring stuff between the two, so I think it's taking iron ore. And there you go. It's actually dropping stuff off here as well. So that's really good. That's going to connect the two things up, and once we can upgrade these roads, that'll make a massive difference. Obviously the bakery's not going to be done. Oh, hang on, there we go. Look, we do have the bakery. So let's max out the bakery as well. Now, there we go, 20 out of 25, so we're definitely getting there. 150, we're not that far off. So let's pop down a few more gardens. So I'm complaining about missing tools. Oh, this is the small tools I was talking about earlier. We'll have to wait for someone to come in and trade those because we can't build them yet. It's really annoying seeing a red thing that you can't actually do anything about. Or at least you can't do anything about until someone turns up with them. We've got the other sawmill, so that's good. Right, so the saw pit's there. Let's up our saw pit game, which I think will make a big difference now. There you go, 48. Already it's looking a lot better than it has been. Every time I've looked up here, it's been like 2 and 4 and 5 and 6 and shit. But yeah, this is the joys of Farthest Frontier. You go along and you think, yeah, I just need to fix one thing that then leads to something else, that leads to something else, that leads to something else. And you're down a rabbit hole for an hour just trying to work out how to get some more vegetables or something. So the trees are now treeing and doing what they need to be at the arborist, so that's great. Our little extra village is good. This is now our tools again. I don't want to shout at my villagers and tell them they're a bunch of tools. Right. How is... because this is a trader. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to see what this trader's actually got. We're obviously looking for small tools. And we're also looking for cows still, obviously. If he hasn't got any of those, I might just force it to happen. At least I can show you how that's done. I'll show you the mechanics of that. What's this one? Okay, great news. They've got tools automatically, so I'm going to go along and take a few of these. I mean, it feels a little bit painful seeing as we've done all that work to get money and we're just going to burn it now. So buy and transfer that. That will go to the village. That will deal with what it needs to deal with. I suppose I can trade this off and go, well, at least I'm going to get 400 back, or 900 back. Off the back of selling some clothes, so that's useful, and obviously doesn't have a cow. So let's go along and force some cows, shall we? I don't know how expensive they're going to be, I don't know how ridiculous it's going to be, but let's just do it because we keep talking about it. In case you've never seen it, this is how it's done. So you find what it is you're actually looking for. So in this case, we're still looking for a cow. Here they come. What the hell is this coming about? Thanks, let's carry on talking about... I don't want to trade. Right, let's go and find the cow. Where's my cow gone? There it is. Right, so you can request this is going to get brought next. You know it's going to be expensive. But, again, it just depends how patient you are. I could sit here for the next 7 visits and not find one, or, you know, you're going to have, as soon as, and by the way, absolute sod's law states, as soon as I overpay to get some cows, the next 3-4 merchants will guarantee to have cheap cows. But the problem is you never kind of have the answer to, well, assume you didn't buy the cow, would those merchants have still turned up? I guess you'll never know, not unless you want to save it and try and go back, but again, you don't know what's going to generate, do you? Okay, so I think this is probably going to be the guy with the overpriced cow. Either that or he was already on the map, and if he was already on the map it doesn't count. Here we go. No, I tell you what, that is not as bad as it normally is. So before anything else happens, we are going to buy some cows from this guy. And I think 4 will be a brilliant start. So as soon as you buy a cow, when I come out the menu, it's going to then ask me where I want to put them. Because you can't just keep a cow at a trading post, funnily enough. There's something about risk assessment or health and safety or whatever, or improper storage conditions or something. Anyway, so we're going to pop them in the barn because we've only got one barn right now. And you'll see here instantly we've got issues to say the livestock are hungry. Of course they're hungry, we don't have any work in the barn yet. And no one's actually gone to get them any food. So root vegetables, fine. Grain, fine. Hay, fine. Yeah, beef, yeah, they're not so keen on. So try not to feed them beef if you can avoid it. But quickly you'll see, there you go. And fodder quality 89%, feed store 70 out of 96, and the birth rate we'll see is now 1 a year, so they're kind of self-sustaining. But what you're looking for is you're looking for this to be the right colour, because sometimes what you'll find is it will go red or it will go yellow, because and what that is effectively doing is it's keeping the birth rate down. If you want to hurry up and get to the 10 cows, that will then not only fill the field, but then they'll also, you've got all the milk that they're going to produce as well. I think we can, well, I know we can later on. I just don't know if we can do it yet, but we can also then create cheese. And the nice thing is when they then go along and give birth to 2 every single year, sorry to say, anyone who's squeamish or twitchy or protective of the cows, but there's a reason we've got a little symbol here. And so yes, 2 cows will get slaughtered every single year, but it will keep our livestock at 10 in this field. So it's a great source of sustainable food, even if it does involve us killing a cow every year, or 2 cows every year. Oh, well, not a new trade, it's just appeared, or it's just notified me of the same ones. But I don't need to buy any more cows. 4 is enough to get me going. I think you can get going with 2 anyway, but it just takes longer. And I think we've all waited long enough for stuff to actually start clicking on this game, so let's make things happen. So let's get some more small tools as well while we're at it. Just because I hate having the red symbols. It's kind of telling us, yeah, they would be working better, but we don't want but, we want just get on with it and get it done. So that's great. This hopefully, oh, hang on a second, so what the problem is that we've already cleared the work area of everything. So let's retarget and head over here, because I can see some stone here anyway. So that's useful. They'll get that going. Now our wood planks are going up, decent rate of knots. Still got to get our gold up, but I can always trade our way into that. Let's just see if there's anything decent we can throw to this guy. There you go, he can have these. So a quick 425 there. Have the clothes we've got, so another 176 there. I could flog in the flour that we've obviously get too much of. I don't know, let's see. Let's try and transfer it over quick. Yeah, we'll take them. Because again, this is another quick 1200 gold, which will push us over 2000, which we need to upgrade anyway. Just depends whether they get them there before he clears off. And again, it's another way to just start culling some of the stuff that you know you've got too much of. Nine days. Come on, Delona, you can do it. I'm not sure she can, because it does seem to be taking a little bit too long. 6 days. Come on, Delona. 5 days. That's why I had a hesitation before I did this. 4 days. I'm ready to hit the quick pause if at least we can see something going there. 3 days, 2 days. Come on, Delona. Make us proud. 1 day. Pause. Nope, nothing. He gone. Delona, you were less than adequate in that. got roads up here now. We've got everything. Well, not everything, but certainly it's not quite so shoddy up here that it was before. We've got all that space to grow into as well. How's our field getting on? Are we now at the point where we can actually start to harvest something sensible? Yeah, weeds have basically gone, rocks have gone. So let's start clearing out crap. Putting in exactly what we want now. So what else do we need? So we know flax is a slight problem. So let's go along and pop this in. Clear it out from there because we want it there. Okay, so that's that done. Problem again is we need to make sure we keep our fertility up. So I'm going to go along and pick up clover. I think this is a -3, isn't it? -2. So this is a net +1, so that's really good because the fertility is going to carry on going upwards. What else do we want to put down? I'm so bored of beans. What about this one? This is a -4% fertility. There's got to be some positives to this. Do you know? Hang on. Yeah, it's brilliantly resilient of rocky ground. We've got no rocks. We've got rid of them all. This one apparently will grow no matter what. Tell you what I might do is I might start growing some hay. And I'm going to grow some hay just because it's great feed for the animals. So let's put some hay in there and hopefully we can get another clover in there. So that's really good because now this is all actually going to be quite useful. The crops that are coming out. And also the fertility is going to carry on going upwards. So okay, that's a win-win, that one. So that field is now good. That field pretty much doing what it needs to be doing, so that's great. And this field is doing the same as well. So all in all, look, here we go. Food production is now good and solid. Other than Lalona or whatever her name was, not quite producing the stuff quick enough. There you go, 21 out of 25. So let's find the low-hanging fruit of the quick shelters that we can increase and upgrade. So these are as homesteads already, but I'm guessing they're going to be surrounded by some shelters. Yeah. So let's put some gardens in here. And with a bit of luck, we will be able to upgrade the whole lot. There we go. Fingers crossed that will be enough. Because I've decided I am streaming tonight until I move to tier 3. And once I get to tier 3, I think it'll be time to call it a night. Of talking to myself so far for 3 hours and 10 minutes this evening, and another 2 hours before that, so 5 hours of insanity today. Honestly, I swear I'm going to absolutely and utterly shit a brick if a message pops up from someone. Or I wake up tomorrow and there's a comment on there and says, "Mate, you're a boring douche" or something. It'd still be nice to have a comment. Right. No meat, no fish, whatever. How are we looking, little colonists? Let's speed you up a little bit. See what happens when all these gardens go down. With a bit of luck, You'll all feel empowered to move from shelters to homesteads. Well, these might already be. 1, 2. You never know, this could be 3, 4 coming up here. They're all going to be pretty close, I think. We've got to get up to 2,000 gold, which at 545 and making 30 a month shouldn't take too long, but we do obviously have nearly 1,000 at the trading post, and you never know, a decent trade next time and get rid of some of the stuff we've got a surplus of, will quickly get us up to 2,000, so that's okay. What's it warning me about this time? Food production is fine. I don't want to hear any more of crap talking about food production. What's this worrying about? Pelts are fine. Grain. Yeah, obviously, because we've got 2 windmills now. So let's slow down one of the windmills. Maybe even both of them. More villagers born, so 144. Definitely getting there. Homesteads 23 we're at. Population 144. And that was another upgrade that just happened. That's a bit homesteady. 24. Yep. 1 more to go. I reckon this will be the one. Homestead again. Hoping that's 25. Yep, there we go, we've gone green. So now we just need this to go up to 6 more people. And what I also need is for someone to come and trade. Let's also just have a look in terms of our trading post, anything else we can start storing. So good old Delona has now moved to 400, so that's good. We're not going to move that, we're not going to move that, we're not going to move pelts. Or clay. The tools are a pain in the arse, so we're definitely not moving those. There's all food to eat. Herbs definitely can go, so let's transfer like 300 of these all the time. Maybe 400. Permi transfer, so that's useful. What else can we permi transfer over? Willow again, but I don't want to do that. Do you know what? I think that we're still waiting for this. I think the other one that came, just by coincidence, had cows. And if nothing else, you'll also see the difference between a cow when it comes normally, which costs, as you saw, 600. You wait and see what happens when the actual requested cow turns up. Either that or I'm going to put the game into a crazy, like, spammed loop that can't get out of. Because it recognises it's delivered cows. But it also thinks that it hasn't delivered cows because it hasn't sold them to me an exorbitant rate yet. Who knows? Right, so food's good. This is all good. The fields are all looking great. Villagers are being born, which is amazing. Here we go, 146, so we are not far off. But I do need someone to come and trade because I don't want to wait however long it's going to be. I don't know, maybe 12 months at the moment. But I'm sure someone is going to come and trade in the meantime. I really hope I don't have to buy a cow just to clear that flag. There you go, look, you see? How much do you think they want to sell me a cow for? Ready for this? Trader has arrived for the requested goods, 1,203. And they only had 2 with them. Insane, right? However, in the meantime, I'm going to sell him some shoes. Which is obviously awesome. Don't care about any other stuff. We've got 1,496, so let's make the transfer. Put 2,200 maybe. Confirm that goes over to the town. Yeah. What the hell just happened there? Oh, there you go. I'm gonna have to walk it over or something. So yeah, 4 more villagers. Come on, villagers. Nothing I can do to entice villagers to appear faster. What's being stored here that's a problem? Gold. Don't think I can build a vault yet. And it also doesn't matter so much because as soon as I can upgrade, then it'll take 2,000 gold from me anyway. Nothing great, nothing great, nothing great. I do just want to have a look and see if there's anything that I can buy cheap from him and flog to the other one. Shoes for 11, pelts for 11, soap for 12. Shoes, pelts and soap. Nope, don't want to sell me anything like that cheap. I just need this number here. Yeah, whatever. Just need this to go up to 150. And then, chat, we have done it. We are up to tier 3. Here we go. And we can then have a look at a journey to tier 4. But for the time being, let's pay this ridiculous amount of cash. Let's lose all this clay. Lose all the timber. And we will finally be a tier 3 town. We're losing all our crops to stress or to heat. The other thing to do is just to keep an eye on these, because sometimes just to go and have a look every so often and make sure there's not some crazy disease spreading amongst all your crops. There's an important thing to do. Let's have a quick look at our barn while we're here. So you see, this is where I said you'll lose your birth rate. So birth rate is 1 a year, but it's red. And if you watch, by adding in extra ones, you'll see it goes from red, which is basically means they can't be properly cared for, so there should be 1. Now it's going to be 1 every year, and I think it's when it turns to 7 or 8 it will change, and then you'll go up to 2 a year as well. And then it's great, it's the race to 10, and as soon as you get to 10 this boy comes in useful. Sorry, squeamish people listening. Sorry, all you vegans. But it's sustainable, see? Circle of life. We're all okay. Everything in this game, whilst you go along and, you know, massacre things and what have you, is generally designed around sustainability. Because we know full well if we just hack down all the trees, that's it, we're done. slow on all people, not just bloody builders. And I think we are 13 man hours. 12, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are officially a tier 3. And the problem is, if I start having a tinkering, it's going to be, oh look, let me just quickly upgrade this and do this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the stream there. Guys, thank you so much. Anyone watching this, do feel free to comment anything you like. I don't really care. I'm pretty thick-skinned and I'm doing this for fun. If you do like it, or you fancy watching, you know, more colony builders, so I think we're going to have a go at RimWorld at some point. Anno, I think we're going to have an attack at that one, and I think we're going to introduce Kenshi to you lot. I don't know whether or not you've seen it, but it's certainly interesting, I can tell you that much. So yeah, give us a like, subscribe if you want to. It'll be great to see you again, and hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers everyone.